You are love, you are light, you are worthy, you are chosen, you are safe, you are whole, you are forgiven, you are precious, you are divine, you are the radiant, you are the dream fulfilled, you are the word made flesh. We are one, we are the temple, we are the breath, we are the spirit, we are creation, we are eternal, we are grace, we are favor, we are seen, we are known, we are abundance, we are rising, we are redeemed, we are redeemed. I love you, I am love, I am you, you love me, you are love, you are me, we love us, we are love, we are love, we are truth, we are God. I remember, I accept, I become, I am, I am,
Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in this great big world, this great big flat baseball field that we call Houston. Houston Earth. The planet Houston. Does anybody know what movie that's from? So this is the planet Houston.
That the Astros are in over the course of the next 2 weeks, you have to embrace that.
If you can tell me what that's from, and I imagine there are many of you who can, then you are pretty cool. Good morning to you from Hiroshima, Japan. I have been doing a lot of work on my channel, doing a variety of things, trying to make some improvements and adjustments, etc., because there are several things coming up and I need to make some changes in order to get the improvements going. And one of those is the scoreboard that you see. I noticed that there were some errors with the scoreboard, and I had to get those things fixed. Plus, I'm trying to get a live stream going that's a 24-hour live stream for the scoreboards. And I did schedule it, but I have not started it yet. And the reason is simple. And that's just because I haven't finished working out all of the coding yet. It's that simple. I haven't finished working out all of the coding yet. That's interesting. The audio was going a little crazy there, but I just got it fixed. All right, good to go. I put on my foam mic filter instead of my pop filter because the pop filter just takes up so much space. It's like it's such a huge thing to have in front of my face. I can't really see all of my screen here. So I decided to go with the foam cover for my microphone. Should be a little better. As long as it helps to block the noise from the fan, the interference from the fan, and it gives me a better view of the screens, it's all good. The lineup for the Astros today, we are in Daikin Park, so Jason Alexander will be on the mound first. The Astros will be on D. Alexander is going to be facing, let's see. Need to get my layout fixed here. Josh Smith is leading it off for the Strangers, followed by Wyatt Langford and Jock Peterson. Jacques Cousteau Peterson. As for the Astros lineup today, let's take a quick look. Jeremy Pena leading it off. Yordan Alvarez still in the second slot. He'll be in left field today. Carlos Correa batting third. Altuve's back in the game today. I'm hoping that he's feeling good for this series. He was having trouble with his foot, but they said it wasn't serious. Apparently, as far as we know, that's correct because he's back on the field today at second base. In the cleanup spot, let's hope that his very recent improvement at the plate continues and amplifies. I want to see Altuve bat 500 for the rest of the season. Christian Walker will be batting fifth. Jake Myers batting sixth in center field. Victor Caratini's the DH today, batting seventh. Yainer Diaz batting eighth, and he's catching. And then Jesus Sanchez batting ninth. We got a pretty balanced lineup. Righty, lefty, righty, 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 lefty, righty, lefty. The good thing is that Walker is batting fifth and Diaz eighth. In between those, we have Myers and Caratini. I think this is much better. And with Sanchez in the ninth slot, and then that goes back to the top of the lineup with Pena and Alvarez. I think that this lineup could do pretty well. We'll see how it goes. The Astros are a coin flip these days at the plate, so you never really know. But I guess we'll see, right? I guess we'll see. Nine wins in a row for the Mariners right now. They've just gotten incredibly lucky. Incredibly lucky playing some of these teams that they were supposed to lose to, at least a little bit. Death Before Dishonor, good to see you. Thank you for being here, Mark. Welcome back. Marduk, Geaux Stros indeed. Let's bring home the lobsters. The people want to feast. Run, Caratini, run. Work off some of that chub. Daniel Berry Sports, happy Tuesday to you. The Lion, good to see you as always. Astros wearing the Space City uniforms today. Got about 27 people watching. Let's go ahead and get those likes on the live stream a little early so that we can get this out to more Astros fans. If the Strangers fans are here, you're welcome. Sometimes I know that the games are blacked out for some of you. So if that's the case, you're welcome to be here. I appreciate you stopping in. On commercial break right now, we will just, I think maybe it'll be about 7 more minutes. If I'm not mistaken, we'll have the first pitch. Let's take a look maybe at the Rangers lineup right quick. Josh Smith leads it off at shortstop, followed by Wyatt Langford in center field. Jock Peterson in the DH spot, batting third. Batting fourth is Jake Burger. Burger time, double cheeseburger. Let's hope today he is a junior whopper. Adolis Garcia is back in the lineup. Let's hope the Astros fans will refrain from booing him today. I want to see the Astros fans cheer when he comes to the plate. A little reverse psychology, throw him off. Osuna is batting sixth, and he'll be in left field. Young is batting seventh at third base. Heim is catching, batting eighth, and Moore at second base, batting ninth. Jack Lader is the pitcher for the Strangers today. He'll be facing off against our very own third in the rotation savior this year, Jason Alexander. I heard a pretty interesting conversation earlier today. They were talking about if you were in a tight situation in the playoffs, Hunter Brown was not available, and you had Fromber on 4 days of rest versus Jason Alexander on 5 days of rest, who would you go with? It was an interesting discussion because on one hand they said if you're Joe Espada in that situation and you choose to go with Jason Alexander, you could very easily lose your job, especially if he gets blown up, right? But at the same time, Fromber is literally a coin toss. You have no idea who you're going to get. You know for sure that Fromber has the stuff, but whether he is able to deliver on that particular day or not, there's just no way to know that, you know? And he's progressively gotten worse as the season has gone along. Not just in attitude, but in performance. A little bit of a discussion with Josh Miller. It's funny, Prodigy. Josh Miller just said, they have a tough lineup, but we're going to try to put something together and attack them as best we can. It's funny because you just posted their averages in the chat and said, tell me this isn't a crappy Rangers lineup. And I agree with you. It really is. The Astros should do well. But Josh Miller, the pitching coach for the Astros, he just said it was a tough lineup. Seriously? In Japanese, I'd say honto. It means really? Honto? The line says Fromber's a splinter cell for his next team at this point. I hear that. But you know what? It's kind of crazy. Because, you know, let's forget about Fromber's attitude for a minute. Because we all know that in the majors, there are many teams out there that are willing to take a guy with an attitude as long as he is able to perform, right? So if Fromber is lights out, you know, if he is at his height in pitching success, then it will be so easy for teams to overlook that stuff and say, well, you know, he said he didn't mean to cross up Salazar and he apologized but, you know, and on top of that, look at his performance. He's stellar, you know, he's truly an ace. If that were all true, then he could still get a nice bag. But the combination of his performance and how it's gotten worse and worse and worse, the combination of that and his attitude and the way he's behaving on the field has caused his value to go way down. I have an interesting question for you all about that. Let's say that for some reason, and I don't think this is going to be possible, but let's just speculate. Let's say that Fromber did so terrible for the rest of the season that his value dropped so much, causing him to be easily signable for the Astros. Would you re-sign him? And I'm going to put that into a poll right quick because I think it's an interesting question. If Fromber was available at a discount, would you want the Astros to sign him? Yes, why not? No. No way in H-E double hockey sticks. Well, let's just say There we go. Let's try that. Alexander is getting himself warmed up on the mound. Had a very interesting day out here. I'm always seeing critters out here at the house, but the deer have been very, very active behind my house recently. And you can hear them outside. I don't know if any of you have ever heard deer before. It's funny that I grew up in Louisiana and I've been deer hunting before and we were around nature and I saw deer many times, but my whole life, I swear to God, I never knew that deer made sounds. I never knew that. And then when I got out here to live in the countryside by this mountain, I started hearing these strange sounds one night. The first time I heard it, I just parked my van. I got out of my van. It was completely quiet out here. And I heard this sound that sounded like, kind of like that. And I was like, what the heck is that? You know, it kind of scared me at first. Found out later on it was deer. Deer make those sounds. Did you know that? Anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there. First pitch is outside. 91-mile-per-hour sinker. Ball one. Josh Smith at the plate facing our Summer of George. 91, bottom of the zone, strike one. Hey, Glenn, quietly wandering. Oh, dear. Oh, dear, oh, dear. Well, I've gotten used to it. It's pretty cool, but they've really, really been getting closer and closer to the house recently. Sometimes I hear them in the back, in the field, in the forest. But they've been really active back there recently. 1 ball and 2 strikes. That last toss was a strike. Here's the next one. That's ripped to the right side. Count remains 1-2. Prodigy says the Astros have lost 8 of the last 9 Fromber decisions. That's right. That's right. And his ERA is way up there. His recent ERA is what, like around 6? That's smurfing terrible. It comes from Seinfeld, the lion. It's a reference to George Costanza, Jason Alexander's character in Seinfeld. Pena gets that first out with a little fly ball into shallow left field. 1 up and 1 down. Josh Smith will go back to the dugout with his head held down in shame. Wyatt Langford comes down from the farmstead to be the second batter for the Texas Rangers. Here comes the first pitch. Nice. 92 miles an hour, low and inside. Another strike. Hey, Glenn, I know you're listening, so I wonder if I can convince you to get on the mic one of these days. Maybe you can sit and do one of these games with me. I wonder just how much you know about baseball. Strike 2 delivered to Langford. Here's the next toss. Low and outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Prodigy wants to know, besides man, what natural predators do the deer have in Japan? Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Nice changeup. The changeup, I believe, is the #1 strikeout pitch for Mr. Alexander, and that one is right there. Thing of beauty. Can't touch this. Prodigy, I would say that if the bear is big enough, there are black bears here, if they're big enough, 92 in the bottom of the zone. Jacques Peterson is at the plate. Hey, Altuve. Hey, Altuve. Here's the 0-1 pitch. High and outside. 1-1 the count to Mr. Peterson. Jordan Peterson is at the plate. No, I don't think so. I think it's too existential. Baseball is such a deep topic, and once you get into it, you just keep digging and digging and digging, and it'll make you cry. Next pitch is a ball, 2-1. I'm kind of out of practice on my Jordan Peterson impersonation. Here's the toss. That's grounded straight to Altuve. He scoops it up and lobs it over to Walker. 3 up and 3 down in the first inning. That's what I like to see in Houston. Welcome to Planet Houston. Welcome to Planet Houston. Okay. I don't think I've ever actually discussed baseball too detailed with my friend Glenn. But if he happens to be here whenever I have to do some of these games, maybe I'll have him sit in, and whenever we have some opportunities, we'll discuss a little bit of Australian culture. For those of you who don't know who I'm talking about, it's quietly wandering in the chat. He's going to be visiting pretty soon. But Prodigy, what I was saying is that there are black bears here, but the bears in this area tend to be much smaller. And I don't think they really pose much of a threat to the deer. I mean, the deer are really fast. And I think the deer in general are kind of bigger than the bears are around here. If you go up to Hokkaido, northeast Japan, those bears are pretty big, and they can be aggressive and super dangerous. You don't mess with those. But the bears around here, from what I understand, they're not nearly as big. They're not typically as aggressive. So I guess the deer, I mean, there are also wild boars, but, you know, I think those animals tend to leave each other alone, and the boars generally are pretty shy. They're even worse than the deer. The deer are much bolder about coming out in the open and being around human civilization and eating our stuff right out in the open. They are much more intrusive, actually, in Japan than the boars are. But the boars are highly damaging. You just have to put up a fence and some cans and stuff like that. Pena's at the plate, fouls off the first pitch, and it's going to be out of play for strike one. If you walk around here around the rice fields, you'll see that they have these fences around them, and they put aluminum cans on top of the fences. And the reason they do that is because whenever the boar try to push through the fence or something, it shakes the fence and it rattles and it scares them away. That stuff doesn't bother the deer. They'll just jump over it. Half swing, and that's a strike on the outside. Leader is on the mound for the Rangers. But other than that, the deer have pretty much free reign of Japan. That's why they become kind of a nuisance in many areas here. You can actually get a license to be a hunter and hunt them here. You can have a gun here. 99 up and in and fouled off on the fists. Anyone who tells you can't have a gun in Japan, that's not the complete truth. You can actually go through a process of getting approved for a gun, become a hunter, a licensed hunter, and then you can have a gun. I met a guy in Tokyo who was a licensed hunter. Hey, Pena's got a leadoff base hit to right field, a single line drive. He was muscling it off, and he finally launches one out into right field. Good job, Flash. For those of you who do not know this series must be a sweep for the Astros in order for them to win the Silver Boot. What is the Silver Boot, you might ask? If you don't know, I will tell you. That's the Texas Trophy, the winner of the series throughout the year between the Astros and the Texans. Whoever wins the series gets the Silver Boot. Right now, the Astros are down by 2 games. And this is a 3-game series, so they can't even give up one. They're going to have to win all 3. So let's get the sweep on. Jordan is at the plate, up and out. 2 balls and no strikes. Come on, your daddy. Your dad is at the plate, boy. Your dad is at the plate. Here comes the next toss, a 2-0. That was crushed, but foul. I think it's going to be foul. That went way, way up in the air. That was a nice crack of the bat there for Alvarez. Man, that was calling out for the Crawford boxes on the opposite field, but turns into a strike. 2 balls and 1 strike. Michael says Fromber's best days have already happened. I agree completely, Michael. He says, but I hope he finishes his last year here on a high note. I hope so. I really do hope so. For him and for the Astros. I don't have anything bad against him. I appreciate what he's done. I'm just disappointed in his behavior. His pitching is not even what I'm upset about recently. I'm just sad that he was playing the way that he was and had the attitude that he had. 3 balls and 1 strikes now. 3 balls and 1 strike to Mr. Jordan. Pena on first. He cracks it again. 98 miles an hour right in the center of the zone. Fouls it off. Fouls it off, fouls it off, fouls it off. Full count. Glenn says, I'll deliver the equivalent of a cricket commentary, which will confuse everyone. My baseball knowledge is very limited. It's not a high-profile game here in Oz. Yeah, that's right. But you can tell us some interesting things about Oz. Ball 4 to Jordan. How about that? Nice take. Nice take, your daddy. We got 2 runners on with no outs here in the bottom of the first. This is what the Astros need to do, is get runners on early, score a lot of runners early, and keep the pedal to the metal. Don't let off. Just keep going, keep going, keep going. Don't assume that your defense is going to get it done. Offense is the best defense. All right. Slider to Correa, misses for ball 1. Come on there, South Korea. Let's take him to the woodshed. Here comes the next pitch. Little tapper at the plate. It's going to be a hard play. He throws it over the head of the first baseman, and Correa's going to go to second base. Pena is going to score. Alvarez might score. Here's the throw. He's safe in there. Look at that. Look at the big man. Oh, and he comes in limping after he hits the plate. Jordan went running in there and didn't slide. And it looks like he might have hurt his knee. Are you kidding me? 2-0 Astros, but at what cost? Jordan Alvarez, if you saw that play just now, he came running in there and he did not slide. And he landed on what looked like his left knee. That might be it for Jordan this game. We'll see. He's limping to the dugout. See how he goes down the steps here. Yeah, they're going to show the replay here. That was tapped to Leiter, and he slipped down, and he threw it way over the head of the first baseman. And that caused the nonsense. There was no way that double cheeseburger could get to that ball. They're going to take him back and have a little look at him. Oh, man, the Astros. The Astros and their injuries, right? The Houston injuries. They should change their name. Instead of Daikin Park. Should be Houston Medical. Texas Astros Hospital. I swear. Here it is right here. Oh, he slipped on the plate. That's what it was. He slipped on the plate. Did you see that? Okay. On the live shot, I didn't see that. I just saw him come running in there. But from that angle, you can see that he slipped. Altuve's at the plate, but the quiet crowd right now, you'd think they'd be excited. But after seeing that, everybody's scared to death, right? 1-0 to Altuve. Hey, Blue Devil, good to see you. Sox didn't play today. Okay. Yeah, I want to see some lobsters. Plenty of lobsters. We've already brought 2 home. Let's get some more. Here comes the 1-0 pitch to Altuve. Outside, 2-0. Correa's on second base. No outs. 2-0 Stros here in the bottom of the second. Here's another angle. There's Pena. Actually, Paris Chica tried to stop him. After he was waving him in, and then he told him to stop. But Jordan came in anyway. Altuve hits that one in the air on the infield. Triple cheeseburger takes it in. Quarter pounder with cheese. One away. Correa on the second base. That's right, Prodigy. Cash in right now. Make them pay. Whoa. Okay. Walker's at the plate in the very first pitch. He gets hit with a 95-mile-per-hour fastball. Thanks a lot, Jack. Jack Leiter having a great first inning. Fine by me. Walker. Oh, luckily he pulled his elbow in. It looked like it got him on the elbow on that protector. Man, I almost hit him on the ribs. 95 miles an hour to the ribs. That would suck. 2 on with 1 out. Jake Myers at the plate takes that first pitch, the curveball in there for strike 1. Marduk, he did not hurt himself sliding. He never slid. He slipped on the plate. Here's the toss. Low and outside. 1 ball, 1 strike to Mr. Baseball. Yeah, DeLine, you're right. Can't dwell on it. Let's just hope that he's all right. I've hurt my knee in a similar situation before, and at first it felt pretty bad, but then after a few minutes it was okay. 84, bottom of the zone. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Myers. I kind of pulled my knee out of joint just a little bit, twisted it a little bit one time when I was playing basketball. A so-called friend of mine fouled me while I was making a layup because he couldn't stop me. And so he just decided to just take me out. And it caused me to land funny on my knee and hurt it. It really, really hurt. I thought my knee was broken. But after resting for like 15 minutes or so, it got better and it didn't bother me after that. Not until years later, though. Years later, it started bothering me. Here's the 2-2. 97 on the outside edge. He takes it for strike 3. Myers, what are you doing? You got to swing at that stuff. You can't take a 97-mile-per-hour fastball down the middle. I mean, it was on the edge, but still, it's in the zone. You got to swing. You got to swing, bro. We got runners on first and second. We've already got a couple of lobsters on the board right now. We got 3 lobsters that we have lost. We brought 2 home, lost 3. The Batman is at the plate. Victor Caratini. Let's go. Here's the toss. Outside, ball 1. Surprisingly, Jack Leiter's pitch count is not very high. He's only tossed 22 pitches. It feels like he's thrown more than 30, but he might get lucky with this inning. Here's the toss. Caratini chops it foul down the first base side, and the count's 1-1. Texans playing so-so. Yeah, kind of like the last game, right? Rub some dirt on it. Yeah, actually, they need to get a Japanese guy to spit on his hands, rub his hands together, and rub it, and then it'll be okay. Here comes a 1-1 pitch to Caratini. Ooh, almost got him. Curveball way inside. Almost the second hit by pitch of the inning. 2 balls and 1 strike. Don't know yet. We'll find out. We're waiting to hear something, Mr. Antonio. We'll find out about Jordan soon enough, I'm sure. Inside again, 3-1 to Caratini. Might have bases loaded for Yainer Diaz, our biggest power hitter in the lineup. Michael says, somebody call Isaac Paredes. We'll figure where to play him later. We need his bat. That's hit hard to the second baseman. He fumbles it for a second, but he's got plenty of time to get to first base. 2 runs, 5 lobsters in the first inning for the Astros. Not the best result. I mean, getting the 2 runs was great, but getting shut down after that, that's no good. They had no outs, still had a guy on second base, and they didn't move him around, not at all. You know, I think at that point they could have considered some small ball, right? It's like, hey, we got a guy on second base. We've already scored 2 runs. We have no outs. Why don't we go small ball? Altuve came to the plate. Could have had Altuve just bunt the ball down the first baseline, get the guy over to third. If Altuve's lucky, he beats the throw to first base. If not, doesn't matter. We got a guy on third with just 1 out. And then after that, you've got Walker. Walker, you know, as far as I know, is a terrible bunter. But if Walker manages to get on base, then Myers comes up. And then if Walker happens to get on base, Myers can definitely bunt. You know, bunt the runner home maybe. I think they could have considered some small ball to pick up an extra run there instead of just letting them swing away. But whatever. At least we got the lead, right? 2 hits, 2 runs. The Strangers have 1 error. Alexander will be back up in just a moment, the top of the second, facing Mini Cheeseburger. And then Adolis Garcia, Alejandro Osuna. It would be nice to get 5 runs in the inning, Prodigy. I agree. Hey, Fox at Bat. Good to see you. Absolutely. Let's regain first place. Let's do it. Do it. Do it. You're welcome, Fox at Bat. He says, another day watching the Astros with a broadcast from Japan. Thanks for that. Thank you for being here. I wouldn't be doing it without all of you guys and gals, and that's serious. That's serious. It's fun to do it, but I don't just do it for fun. I do it because there are people out there that want to hear it. If there's nobody out there that wants to hear it, well, it looks like Jordan's out. Cole is in the game. As soon as we get an update for Jordan, I'll let you know. That's a strike right in there. 1 ball, 1 strike to Mr. Berger. Hey, look, he's chewing on something. It looks like he's eating. Yeah, I know he's probably chewing gum, but it just looks like he's eating. Maybe Berger's chewing the last few bites of the hamburger that he was eating just before he came out on the field. Here's the 1-1 toss. Low and outside, ball 2. Two-one pitch on the way. Nice. 91 in the top of the zone. Strike 2, and the count is even. Here comes a toss. Swing and a miss. All right. How do you like that Swiffer? Eat that, says Mr. Alexander. Take a look at this. Starts off inside, goes to the outside. A thing of beauty. Keep doing that, Jason. Jason. Some mixed applause and booing for Garcia. That's better than usual. The Astros fans are trying. Bless their hearts. They're trying. They're trying. Change their attitude towards Garcia. 0-1 is the count. Here comes the toss. High and outside, 1-1. I'm going to go ahead and stop the poll right now. Let's see what it looks like. Pretty interesting. We'll go over in just a second. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. High. 2 balls, 1 strike to Garcia. My question in the poll was, if Fromber was available at a discount, would you want the Astros to sign him? 48% say no way in HE double hockey sticks. 25% say yes, why not? 25% say, nah, depends. All right. Low and outside, swing and a miss. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Nice changeup. Once again, that's that strikeout pitch that he's got in the dirt. Full count. Patrick, he slipped on home plate when he came in and scored. It's It's crazy because Paris Chica was waving him home, and then he told him to stop, but Jordan was already booking it, and he ran all the way to home plate and scored. He never slid. He just ran in. Swing and a miss. Another strikeout, and guess what? It's on the changeup. Surprise, surprise. Adolis Garcia goes down. I felt that air all the way over here in Hiroshima. Look at that. Swoosh. Thank you for the breeze, Mr. Garcia. 2 down. 5 retired for Alexander. Next batter is Alejandro Osuna. 92 on the inside. Strike 1. Good toss. Patrick, he didn't hurt himself stepping on home plate. As he was running across and stepped on home plate, he slipped on it. And that's what caused him to hurt. I think he hurt his knee, maybe. That's my guess, is that he hurt his knee. They're taking a look at him right now, so I'll update you guys and gals as soon as I hear something. Low and outside. 2 balls and 1 strike to Osuna. Literally, Mr. Antonio. He says we're going to limp into the playoffs with all these injuries. If we get to the playoffs, right? If we manage to get there, it will be with a limp. Man, we just can't stay away from it all season long. We should change the name to the Astros, the Houston Astros. Itai Stros, maybe. Itai in Japanese means hurt. Itai. You can say Itai Stros. But Astros sounds better. Altuve puts the grounder away. Lobbing it over to Walker, and that's 6 up and 6 down for Mr. Jason Alexander. Looking good so far. Astros up 2-0 at the end of 2. 2 hits for the Stros, nary a 1 for the Strangers. But they do have an error. Ha ha ha. Yainer Diaz due up next for the Stros, with Jesus Sanchez on deck and Jeremy Pena in the hole. Somebody get that boy out of the hole. He didn't do nothing wrong. Fox at Bat says, given the way he's been playing, I don't think he can demand much for his contract. I agree. He's cost himself a lot of money between his pitching performance and his attitude. He has just made himself a hard pass for a lot of teams. I wouldn't doubt it. D. Hunt says Fromber's going to Colorado. They're opening up the books a little this offseason with all that young talent coming up. They're going to be after Fromber and pitching. I don't doubt it. I can see him up there. Maybe he'll like the weather a little better. He sweats a lot. I know it's hot and humid in Houston. I mean, you can't avoid it. When you play in the MLB, obviously you can't avoid playing in hot weather sometimes. It's just impossible. Because even if where you're playing at home is such a nice climate, you can't play there every single day. You got to travel on the road and you got to play in all sorts of weather. You just got to get used to it. But I will say that I can't stand the heat and humidity. That combination is... Yeah, I had enough of it when I was growing up down that way. Yanner takes the first pitch outside for ball 1. 1-0. Hey, Prodigy, thank you so much. My first super chat of the day. Thank you, sir. $5 go towards that nice breakfast. That $5 breakfast. There we go. Thank you, sir. That was a nice, hard, opposite field foul ball by Diaz. Strike 2, 1-2. 98-mile-per-hour pitch. You couldn't get around on it early, but the sound off the bat was nice. Top of the third. Nobody out. Nobody on. Here's the toss to Diaz. He bounces that one to the third base side. He runs, but a little late. He got kind of a late start out of the box. Is not able to beat it out. One down. Jesus Sanchez coming to the plate. Let's see what Buddy Sanchez can do for his first at bat. He didn't have a single hit, they said, on the road trip. That's terrible. Absolutely terrible. He needs to get going. Get it going, baby. There's the first pitch. 97, low and inside. Strike one. Glenn says, I lived in Houston, Galveston for my childhood and lived in South Vietnam for almost 2 years. Funny when people talk about heat with humidity about New York City and here in Poland, I just laugh. Same here. 98 on the inside. That was a little far inside, but the umpire liked it. You can see where that was located in the zone there. 0-2 is the count to Sanchez with one out, nobody on. Still Viper. Thank you so much with the $20 super chat. Viper says, I've been working a lot lately, but here to watch the strangers go down. 98, high and outside. The look on his face, he's like, that was close. He's hilarious. Look at him, he's smiling about it. He knew that was close, but it was definitely a good take. Here's the 1-2. Grounder to the right side. Second baseman Moore grabs it and throws it to first. Berger grabs it. Out number 2. There we go. And brings Pena back up to the plate. First pitch is high for ball 1 on that super chat. Strangers go down, super chat. Arigato. Thank you, Viper. Thank you so much for that. I really do appreciate that. Highly appreciated. Here comes the next toss. Pena fouls that one off on the third base side. 1-1 is the count with 2 outs. Nobody on. Later is up to 36 pitches. I see your comments about the pitchers. We'll get to those in just a second. Low and outside in the dirt. 2-1 to Pena. D. Hunt says Fromber and Cease have high ground ball rates, and that's what Colorado is going to target for with that thin air ballpark. They have Beck, Moniak, Tovar Carros, Romo, and in the minors, Charlie Condon. In the dirt, 3-1. He says, I would expect Ethan Holiday in a year and half the way, in a year and a half, and the way he's progressing faster than his brother. Yeah, you're right. I think that the Rockies would definitely want to target pitchers who are who have a high ground ball rate and a low home run rate. Fromber is a good match, so I agree. I could see him going there. That's hit pretty hard, but dies quickly. A little thick off the bat. Didn't get it on the sweet spot. Nice loud crack, but a little dense. Pena flies out to left field, and that's the third out of the inning. Nothing doing for the Stros in the top of the third. 2-0, the score remains. I'm sorry. going into the top of the third is what I meant to say. Nothing doing for the Stros in the bottom of the second. We're going into the top of the third. At least I was able to recognize it and correct myself. It's because I haven't been able to get into this next cup of coffee. That's the reason why. But it's ready now. See? I just want to doctor it up just a little bit with some half and half. Blue Devil says Viper must get paid good to do all these super chats. I think Viper just works his butt off. If I had a super chat for every single time Viper said that he had to work or was working or anything about working, I would already be rich. I think that Viper must be the hardest worker in the chat. But the super chats are definitely appreciated. $1, $5, $20, $100, $1,000, $1 million, $1 million. All of those are fine and appreciated greatly. Can't find my spoon. I need to stir my coffee. Can't find my spoon. Alexander is back on the mound. He will be facing Josh Young. 90 on the outside edge. Good toss, strike one. Next pitch, 91, up and out. Ball one. There we go. Next pitch is right in the zone and fouled off. One ball and two strikes. And my coffee is prepared. I can get my hand back onto the mouse. It sounds kind of funny. I can get my hand back onto the mouse. Hopefully he won't bite me. Lone outside, 2-2. We are in the top of the third. That ball is up and inside. 2-2. I'm sorry, 3-2 now. Full count. They are having some kind of promotion with, I guess, EMS and the police. That's hit hard to the left side. The Strangers have their first hit of the game. First base runner. Josh Young takes the full count pitch and puts it into left field. Runner on first. Here in the top of the third. Jonah Heim comes to the plate in just a moment. Oh my gosh, Mark, are you serious? Prodigy says, let's add on a run to every inning. I wish we could do that. If the Astros scored just one run every single inning, I'd be more than happy with that. Oh, what a great play by Altuve. Holy cow, did they get it? Oh my gosh, that's the best double play I've seen all year long. Did you see that? Altuve with the dive and the toss to Pena. Pena scoops it out of the dirt. Fires it to first base and gets the double play. Look at this. Oh my gosh. That was the most beautiful double play I've seen from any team this year. Look at that. Welcome back to the lineup, Altuve. Superman getting it done. The Flash. We got the super friends going on right now. The only thing that was missing from that double play was a scoop at first by Walker. Pena just made a great throw. 0-1 is the count to Dylan Moore. He fouls off the next pitch. 0-2 just like that. Man, what a great play. That eliminates the base runner. Here comes the next toss. A little high. I'm surprised he didn't go with the changeup and the strikeout. Fastball high. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Mark Bryant, I see your comment. I'll get to it. It's pretty funny. Here's the toss. That's hit high in the air on the infield. Who's got it? Pena's got it. Everybody's just walking off the field. Pena gets underneath it. The cameraman wasn't sure where to go because everybody was walking. All right, Alexander gives up 1 hit, but that's quickly eliminated with a freaking awesome double play on behalf of Jose Altuve's diving stop and toss to Pena, and Pena's great catch and throw to first base. That was great stuff right there. We go to the bottom of the third. Astros up by 2-0. Mark Bryant in the chat says, your next trip to Cafe Gusto, you need to try one of those monk bean Oh, mung bean, M-U-N-G, I think. Or no, I'm sorry, red bean, not mung bean. Red bean. Red bean and cream hot dogs, and report it in the following live stream. Are you really going to make me do that? Are you going to make me do that? Tell you what, Mark, if you donate $5, then I'll do it. But otherwise, no guarantees. Because I really don't want to eat that. Really don't want to eat it. But if you're willing to cover it, I'll do it just for you, and I'll make the video. How about that? Let's see here. Yes, please get the likes up. Let me take a look. Let me reload the screen here and see how many likes we have. Currently, oh, there's another Prodigy with another super chat. Thank you so very much. We're going to call that one the Altuve Pena double play. We're going to call that the thank you for the... It won't let me reply. I just typed in a message and it says it won't let me reply. I waited too long, apparently. Zach Cole is at the plate on the 0-1 pitch. They're showing this again earlier. This was Jordan coming across the plate. Oh, it was his ankle. Ouch. Ooh. It was his ankle. His left ankle, not his knee. Did you see that? Terrible. Let me try this again. There we go. Cole grounds this one towards shortstop, and he fires it over to first for out number 2. Or is that out number 1? That's out number 1. I'm trying to figure out where my butt is right now. I typed some messages into the chat, and then they didn't send. So I was trying to get that straightened out, and I was only half paying attention to Cole's at bat. My bad. Correa is at the plate with 1 out, nobody on. Here's the toss. He grounds that one to the shortstop, who fires over to first and gets him no problem. That's out number 2. 2 up and 2 down here in the bottom of the third. Altuve's back at the plate. Altuve had a great defensive play. Does that mean does he get the home run here? You know, you have a great defensive play, and then you wind up making a big hit, right? Your next at bat in the next inning. Come on, Altuve. Crawford boxes. Crawford boxes. Crawford boxes. Jose Altuve. Here comes the first pitch from Mr. Leiter. Outside, ball 1. Here comes the next pitch. He pops that one straight up on the infield. Second baseman takes it for out number 3, and that's it for the third. Through 3, the Astros are leading 2-0. That's 2 fly balls to the infield for Altuve. Yeah, it could be bad, Glenn, but let's hope that it's just like maybe just a little twist, you know, just a little twist. But we're going to find out, I guess. I guess we're going to find out. Slip around, find out. Patrick says, just tape the ankle At least it's not the knee. Probably sprained it. Yeah, I think that for Jordan, if I think about my own experience, I'm not quite as tall as Jordan. I'm 6'2". I think Jordan is a little bit taller than that. Let's see. He's also a beefier guy than I am. He's 6'4". He's 2 inches taller than me. And his weight is much more than mine. He weighs 237 pounds. He's a beefy guy. Beefy. So I think that to twist or hurt his knee would be much worse for him. But if his body is similar to mine, I've always had strong, good ankles. I've never had any issues with my ankles. It's the knees, that's a different issue. The Undertaker? Are you talking about the wrestler? That's kind of a random comment. Speaking of the Texans game, let's see if we can pull up that score. (14-10), the Texans have the ball with 4 minutes left in the third. Okay, they need to do something. They scored 10 in the first, but haven't done anything since then, apparently. Josh Smith is now at the plate facing Jason Alexander. Oh, 0-2 is the count. High and outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. While I was looking up the Texans score, Alexander tossed 2 strikes. Maybe I should have stayed on the score. He tossed the ball. Here's the 1-2. In the dirt, low and inside. He goes to the backstop. Now it's 2-2. Two balls and 2 strikes to Josh Smith. Here comes a pitch from Alexander. That's outside on the changeup. Now it's a full count. Started off 0-2 and now it's full. Yeah, I hear that he doesn't have a lot of protection right now. Woo! 92 on the outside edge. The umpire rung him up. Josh Smith couldn't believe it. It was really close. If it got the edge of the zone, it was by a hair. Maybe a pig's hair. Wyatt Langford is back at the plate. Takes that first pitch, the changeup up and in for ball 1. Here's the next toss. 92 on the outside edge. Strike 1. The count's even. That's right. Sit down, son. Get back in that dugout, boy. What are you doing out there on that field? I didn't tell you to go out there. Here's the 1-1 pitch with 1 out. That's going to be hit into right field for a hit. Cole grabs it. Throws it in. Got a runner on first with 1 out. That's the second hit for the Strangers this game. They're showing the Astros' top 2 pitchers recently. Don't see Fromber there. Don't see no stinking Valdez. Here comes the 51st pitch of the game from Alexander, the first to Jock Peterson. Swinging a foul at the plate. Speaking of Fromber, he looks comfy. Where's his gold chains? 0-1. Here comes a pitch. Peterson hits that up the middle. Is going to be playable. Myers is back, and he makes the play. Right at the warning track, he makes the catch over his shoulder. Brings it back in. Peterson is down, and that's out number 2. And Mark says Texans scored a TD on their opening drive. Haven't done anything since. Offensive line is pitiful. Tampa Bay has ball halfway through the third quarter. First pitch to Mr. Berger. A single with cheese or without cheese. Either way, that's a strike on the outside edge. Runner on first, 2 outs in the top of the fourth. No balls, 1 strike to Mr. Berger. Here's the toss. 78 at the bottom of the zone. Swing and a miss. 0-2. They just said that Jordan has an ankle sprain. If it's just a mild sprain, then that's fine. Yeah, right now we don't have any idea how bad the sprain is, if it's a light sprain or what. But a sprain is so much better than a break or a tear, that's for sure. And it's also better than a knee issue. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss on the changeup. Alexander, just like clockwork, he gets those 2 strikes, comes in with the changeup. And that bat can't touch it. There was at least a few inches between the ball and the bat there. I don't think you're very much of a cheeseburger, my friend. You're more like a vegan burger. You're a fake burger. Get out of here, you fake burger. You're not a real burger. You're not a real boy or a real burger. Yeah, a double play would have been nice, but Alexander had other plans, apparently. Patrick says, Mark Bryant, yeah, I've been telling the Texans fans the success of Houston is their offensive line. Prodigy says, what was the name of that Burt Lancaster movie? Valdez is coming. Valdez is coming. Yeah, that's right. That's the name of the film. Valdez is coming. 1971 Western film. Burt Lancaster is Bob Valdez, a Mexican-American lawman seeking revenge against a wealthy rancher for tricking him into killing an innocent man and then refusing to provide compensation to the widow. Sounds interesting. Never saw it, but now I'm interested. Give him a vegetarian burger. That's right. Serve it up. Fox at Bat says, if that happened to me, I would already be in the hospital ready for surgery. Some people would be in the ambulance crying right now. But I've never had a problem with my ankles. I've been able to avoid sprains. I mean, even when I started to lightly twist or hurt my ankle, I've been able to get out of it. Walker at the plate grounds it to shortstop on the very first pitch, and he'll be thrown out at first base for out number 1. Jay Myers comes up with 1 out, nobody on. Speaking of Myers, they're showing some of his highlights. Since he's been back 7 games, his on-base percentage is .400, 9 hits, and 2 steals. Not too bad. Not too shabby. Not shoddy. Not shabby. First pitch he takes for ball 1. Yeah, Valdez. What I want is for Valdez to do really well, get us to the playoffs, into the World Series, and win it, and then he can go. Is it too much to ask for? It might be. But that's what I want for Christmas, Santa. Foul ball for Myers. The count is even 1-1. 50 pitches for Leiter coming up in just a moment. We are in the bottom of the 4th. 2-0 Stros. Here's the pitch. Grounded straight to short again. Another play to first base. Lots of ground balls to the shortstop today for the Stros. 2 down, and the Batman comes to the plate. Are you able to take your cup and reach into the sea and scoop up the depth of the waters that represents the power of the Batman? What does it even mean? Caratini fouls the first pitch off on the first base side. Strike 1. Yeah, I've only slightly hurt my ankle, but never enough to need a wrapping or anything like that. I have very strong ankles. This is hit out into center field, and it's caught over the shoulder by the center fielder. 1, 2, 3 inning. The Astros have done nothing since the first. That's the end of the fourth. Astros look really good coming right out of the gate in the first inning. We've seen that often, right? It's funny because most of the year, the Astros, they had this really long streak of not scoring any runs at all in the first, right? And for the season, they haven't scored many runs in the first. And then I think they went how many innings before they were able to score first in the game? Like nearly 30 or around 30, something silly like that. And then oh no, that was the innings without a run. They went like 30 or 31 innings or something like that without scoring a run. But they also had many games where they didn't score first. And they've had many games throughout the year where they didn't score in the first inning at all. But when they do score in the first inning, they have often not scored at all. Either for the rest of the game or for many innings. They have so many strange quirks, you know, this offense. Man of Culture, Angel, welcome in. Good to see you, sir. Juan Valdez might be able to pitch better for the Astros. I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it. Glenn is asking about THE instead of RHE in the score line. Adolis Garcia at the plate. Bounces that one foul to the third base side. Craig grabs it and throws it to first base just for the heck of it. 0-1 is the count. He struck out his last at bat. He calls timeout. Glenn, I'm not sure exactly what you're talking about there. Oh, you're talking about the runs, hits, and the errors. I see. Okay, I was looking all around the screen for THE and RHE, but I see what you're talking about. You're talking about the run column, the hits column, and the error column. I see. Low and outside. On my screen right here, in my software, the actual layout of the screen that you guys are looking at is super tiny. Very hard for me to see that. Swing and a miss. 2-2 is the count to Garcia. That it's showing a T in that section for the hits. Oh, Pena. Ground ball. Pena ran over to scoop it up, couldn't handle it. And they're going to give Pena an error on that play. They say that the ball was spinning. It jumped, yeah. One little jump and then a big jump, so it came up a little higher than he was expecting, but he's going to get an error for that. And we have runner on first with no outs. Alejandro Osuna at the plate. Maybe we'll get the double play here. Another double play. We'll see. That coding is all done by AI. That's hit straight to Correa. Goes to second base. Pena to first. He's safe at first base. They don't get Osuna at first base, but we get the lead runner Garcia. One down. Josh Young comes to the plate. But I actually made some changes to the coding earlier today. Not manually, but these are things that you guys probably wouldn't notice. But on the left side, where it has the base runners, it was too compact and crammed together. So I had that widened out and had the size increased, so it wasn't so compact. It's still not as wide and situated to the left as I want, but you know, it's not something you can easily do. You can tell the AI what you want it to do, and it says, okay, I've got it, and it redoes the code, and then when it comes up, it either breaks the code or it doesn't do exactly what you want. You just have to keep working with it for hours and hours and hours before it finally gets it right. But I think in the process of that, somehow it changed that to a T. I'm not sure why. So that's my short answer. It's the coding done by ChatGPT. I don't know why it changed it. 0-2 is the count to Young. Here comes the toss. 92 outside, ball one. One out, one runner on first. One ball, two strikes. Alexander on the mound with 65 pitches in his pocket, in his back pocket. Well, he goes over to first base. Runner's back. Here's the toss. Low and outside. Here's the toss. That's hit hard out to left field, and it's gone. It's tied. Josh Young with a homer to the Crawford boxes off Alexander. That was just an easy golf. That's unfortunate because the error by Pena on that hit by Garcia enables the Rangers to tie up the game with one swing of the bat. Inside, not very far down. That was right across the knees. Easily hittable. And he just golfed it out there. Goodness gracious. 3 hits now for the Rangers. They actually now have more hits than the Astros do. The Astros only have 2. The game's tied up. But if you look at the Lobsters, it makes sense. The Astros have 5. The Strangers have 4. Jonah Heim comes to the plate with 1 out, nobody on. Here's a pitch. 91 outside, but in just enough inside the zone for strike 1. Here's a pitch. Swing and a miss on that fastball just above the zone. 0-2 is the count. Here's the next pitch. Fouled back. Count stays 0-2. Here we see that Houston has the ball right now. 2nd down and 1 on the 49-yard line. Moving down the field. Below the zone. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Mr. Heim. Uh-oh, big play. Stroud just passed it down the field. Turns into a 28-yard play. That's hit into center field. Myers goes back and grabs it. Out number 2. "24-yard reception." No, 28 yards. Stroud to Higgins. Tampa Bay 23-yard line, 1st and 10. First pitch is a little out of the zone. Dylan Moore at the plate with 2 outs, nobody on. 1-0 is the count. That's low and outside. Just misses the corner, 2-0. I agree with you, Prodigy, based on skill, but that's the problem. They haven't been focused on any type of hitting strategy or hitting system that I can see. 2 balls and 1 strike, that's right in there. Nice pitch by Alexander. 75 pitches. Here comes the next toss. That's hit up the middle. Altuve backhands it, goes to first base. His throw is way off track. Altuve had to go across the bag and throw from the shortstop side back over his shoulder there. Not much he could do there, I think. Mound visit coming from Josh Miller. Diaz will stroll out to join the party. A little bit of a long inning. I guess they're giving him a break here. Just give him a breather. 2 outs, runner on first. 76 pitches for Alexander. Here in the top of the 5th. 2-run homer evened it up. Josh Smith is at the plate. He is 0 for 2 today. It looks like the Texans are in the red zone now. 16-yard gain to the Tampa Bay 8-yard line. Dalton Schultz on the reception. Josh Smith at the plate. The runner steals second base. The throw is not there. He'll be safe at second base. So the Strangers get their guy into scoring position. And that is strike 1 on Josh Smith. Oh, and 1 is the count. 2 outs. Runner on second. Here comes the pitch. Smith hits that right up the middle, and that's probably going to give them the lead, and it does. 3-2 Strangers. So an error early in the inning, and then a grounder that Altuve could not get to first base come back to bite them in the butt, and Diaz not being able to throw him out at second. All these things add up to 2 extra runs. So instead of the score being 2-1 Astros, it's 3-2 Strangers. 2 outs, runner on first. Wyatt Langford comes to the plate. Nope. He throws it over to first base, and Young is back. Third down and 1 on the 1-yard line for the Texans. And they try a pass, and it's incomplete. 4th and goal. What kind of nonsense is that? I wish I could see that. What was that play call? Steven Ogert is warming up in the bullpen for the Stros right now. 0-1 count to Langford. Crowd is pretty quiet in Houston right now. Come on, Alexander. A little low, 1-1. Looks like the Buccaneers got it back. Incomplete pass. They turn it over on downs at the 1 yard line. Two balls, one strike. Here's the toss. Outside again, 3-1. Alexander looks so good through the first 4 innings. And now we're getting the Fromber treatment. 3 runs given up so far. Here's a 3-1 pitch. That's low, ball 4. That might be his last batter. I don't think they're going to let him stay in. 2 on now with 2 outs. Yeah, Spot is coming out. They're going to pull him out, put in Okert, I think. Nope, he's hanging on. There he goes. That's unfortunate. Alexander was doing so good, and he was almost there, almost at the finish line, and just started breaking down. And Okert will be in with 2 runners on, 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. 3 runs have already been scored by the Strangers this inning. Hopefully Okert will be able to get this batter and get us out of the inning. So just as the Astros start giving up runs, the Texans can't put it into the end zone. You know, right there in the end of the 3rd, at the beginning of the 4th, they could have just kicked a field goal. They didn't have to go for it. Could have just kicked a field goal. It would have been a 1-point game. Not that big of a deal. Even if the Buccaneers had scored a touchdown, most likely they would not have gone for a 2-point conversion. Most likely. And if the Texans got the ball back after that and scored a touchdown, they could always go for the 2-point conversion to tie it up. But what do I know? I'm just a guy doing play-by-play on YouTube. I'm not the coach. But I can't stand seeing teams fail at the 1 yard line. Especially when they start off with such a good drive, you know, and then do nothing for 2 quarters. You got to take what you can get. In that situation, it's like, hey, would you rather have an opportunity to score a touchdown in just 1 play, or would you rather have guaranteed 3 points and you're only down by 4? I would take the field goal all day long. You got a whole nother quarter to play, man. Kick the field goal and figure it out later. Yep, Angel's right. Astros and the Texans at the same exact time, simultaneously. Houston was feeling really upset simultaneously. So much disappointment at the same time in Houston. Pitching change. Fried Okert is in the game, baby. I still haven't updated his portrait. In the portrait, he's pitching right-handed, but he is a left-hander. Here comes the first toss. That's a nice pitch. 80-mile-per-hour slider. Jacques Peterson is at the plate. 2 for 9 in 15 plate appearances against left-handers. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Little check swing. Did he go? They say no, he didn't. That's 1-1. One ball, one strike. Here comes the toss. Nice. 91-mile-per-hour fastball on that outside edge. The count is 1-2. Here comes a 1-2 pitch. Strike 3. Good job. A little fried Okert is served. Peterson doesn't like it, but his daddy serves him up some fried Okert. You're going to eat your vegetables and go to sleep. Finally, Okert gets us out of the inning, but the Astros have given up the lead. We are down by 1, folks. Going into the bottom of the 5th inning. Let's get those runs back. Screw this. Let's get those runs back. 100%. I'll be right back. I'm going to go in here and make myself feel a little relieved, if you know what I mean. I also need to get some water heated up. I'll be right back. Geaux Stros and all that. Yanner Diaz at the plate. With the 0-1 pitch, he fouls that one off. It's now 0-2. Oh-2 pitch on the way. 89 on the outside edge. He fouls that one off on the first base side. You know, MLB has been getting very, very annoying the past couple of days. They're starting to give me copyright claims on 3-second clips. That's crazy. Here's a pitch. 98 miles an hour. And one of the clips that they claimed 3 seconds. I looked at those 3 seconds, and it was literally, it was my content during the whole 3 seconds, with one exception. There was a very quick flash on the screen of the game. I mean, it was literally just a quick display. It was like boom, boom, gone. Just like you're blinking. If you blink and you have your eyes closed, right? And you open your eyes and close them really quick. That's how fast it was on the screen. Just super fast. And they copyright claimed that. Can you believe it? Crazy. The 1-2 pitch is crushed out to right field, but foul. Diaz trying to get that opposite field home run. Philip? Who are you talking to? What are you talking about? What in the world are you talking about? Here's a pitch. In the dirt. 2-2. Leiter is up to almost 60 pitches. He'll have 60 with this next one. Here comes the 2-2 pitch to Diaz. That's hit up the middle. Scooped up by Smith. And he makes a low throw to first base. The first baseman can't handle it. Diaz will be safe. If that had been Walker, he probably would have made that scoop. But they don't have Walker at first base, so no scoop today. No scoop for you. Look at this. Boom. Too many cheeseburgers at first base for the strangers. We have a leadoff runner with Jesus Sanchez at the plate. Ooh, he took a nice cut at that one, low and inside. He missed it. The changeup, strike one. Angel says we played better with AAA guys in July when everyone was hurt than now with almost full team back. You're right, sir. Only men of culture know such things. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Whoa! Sanchez stared at the pitcher like, dude, what are you doing? He almost hit him. Look at this. Look at his response here. He almost gets hit, and he's like, what are you doing? 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the toss. He rips that one down the first baseline. Man, he's getting some good swings. Just needs to straighten it out and put it in a good spot. A 2-run bomb from Sanchez would be so sweet right here. He hasn't had one in a while. That's high. 97 miles an hour. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Eric says, I agree. Can't believe it's the current situation. I like Michael's comment. On the contrary, I think both teams are quite offensive right now. That's funny. Chopper to first. They go to second and lob it to first, but they can't get the double play. Fielder's choice. Diaz is out at second base. Sanchez is on first. 1 away. And that will bring up the top of the batting order. The Flash, Jeremy Pena, comes to the plate. Zach Cole on deck. Prodigy wants to know if we can employ a strategy like not hitting the ball directly to the shortstop, third, second baseman, or any other defensive player. If the crummy Rangers batters can get some hits, so can the Astros. Yeah, and the Astros are one of the worst teams for grounding out and grounding into double plays. I'm sure that doesn't surprise you. They continue that tradition. Here in Houston, we are proud of our ground out and double play tradition. 1 ball, no strikes to Pena. Here comes the toss. Pena hits it to the third base side, and that's a low throw to second. Do they get him at first? No. Once again, just as soon as we're talking about it, another ground ball, almost a double play, but they get the lead runner. Sanchez is out, and Pena's on first. So the Astros are just playing musical chairs with first base. That's 2 lobsters back-to-back for the Stros. Zach King Cole comes to the plate. Since that first game, man, you haven't done much. You haven't done anything, really. I mean, little. 80 miles an hour on that outside edge. Catches the corner, strike 1. Come on, bro. Let's do it. Let's do it, son. The 0-1 pitch from Leiter on the way. 97 inside. He fouls it off on the third base side. The count's 0-2. Should have let him. He should have let him hit him. That would have put the runner in scoring position. That's right, Prodigy. Just let it hit his shirt. Cole fouls it off at the plate. 91 in the bottom of the zone on that changeup. Count stays 0-2. DeLine says, I like this, Sanchez. I'd like it even more if he would get a line drive hit or a homer. Or double, triple, anything that moves the runners around. It's fine by me. Here comes the next toss. High and outside. What in the world are you doing? Hey, look at that. The Texans blocked a punt. That's nice. They got the ball on the 35-yard line of Tampa Bay. Good D. Here's a 1-2 pitch to Cole. He fouls it off. 89 miles an hour off the end of the bat. Astros could take batting practice in the lobby of the Hilton and not break anything. Just anything on the floor with all those ground balls. Leiter steps off the mound to reset. That's going to be one disengagement. How many ground balls, David? I can tell you exactly how many ground balls the Astros have hit. 2. Too many, that is. Pena is stealing second base and is fouled off by Cole. He will go back. There are 2 outs. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th inning, right in the middle of this game. The Astros are down by 1, 3-2. Zach King Cole at the plate with Pena on first. Here's the 1-2. That's crushed to right field. It's gone. It's a no-doubter. He does it again. 2-run homer. 2-run homer in his first game at Daikin Park in Houston. And he gives us back the lead, 4-3. Absolutely. Heck yes. Uh-oh, the Houston Astros commentators have now taken my Zach King Cole from me. Just remember, you heard it here first. Zach King Cole was a swinging old soul. He's pumped up. He's out there screaming. That brings up Carlos Correa. 87, just a little outside, but called strike 1. The count is 0-1 to Correa. Fastball up in the zone, and he just crushed it. Nice. There's the toss. 96 miles an hour on the inside edge, strike 2. Lighter. He's feeling heavy right now. Heavier, not lighter. Here's the 0-2 in the dirt. 1-2 to Correa. How about that? Texans 4th and 10 again. And the Texans decide this time to go for the field goal. What a bunch of weirdos. There's 5 minutes left in the game. They decide to go for a field goal. What a bunch of weirdos. High and inside. See, if they'd gotten the field goal earlier, they'd be leading the game right now by 2. But no, let's not play smart. Let's live on the edge. 2 balls and 2 strikes to South Korea. Here comes the toss. In the dirt outside, full count. Make him work, baby. That was a 99-mile-per-hour fastball. Later seems to be angry right now, but he's not getting it in the zone. Auto zone. I saw too many TV ads back in the day. Strike 3, 97, right in the middle of the plate. Correa takes it like a champ. He's like, you know what? I'm not going to swing anymore. But that big swing from Zach King Cole gives us the lead again. Heck yes, baby. 4-3. Astros regain the lead in the bottom of the 5th. We don't get back all 3 runs, but we get back 2 of them. That's enough to get the lead. 5 hits for the Strangers, just 3 hits for the Stros, but that big one, what a big, important hit. That's how you avoid grounders. The rookie showing the Astros veterans how it's done. Let's see what's going on with the Texans and Buccaneers. 3rd down and 8. Ball on their own 37-yard line. Tampa Bay has it with 4:43 left. Man, they've run almost no time off the clock. I mean, I know that you don't want to just run the time off the clock when you've got so many minutes and you're just up by 1, but they're not doing a very good job of moving it down the field, and it's fine by me. But they've only managed to get 2 yards Come on, shut them down, boy. Shut them down, boy. Hey, they moved him backwards. Holy cow. Mayfield was sacked for an 8-yard loss. It's 4th and 16. I think the Buccaneers are going to have to punt it away. The Texans are going to get it back with less than 4 minutes left on the clock. All right, how about that? Mini cheeseburger. Junior Whopper comes to the plate. That first pitch is a strike. He immediately takes a timeout. Fried Okert serving up the dishes, hot and fresh. Still on the mound for the Astros. Here's the pitch. Fouls it off. Strike 2. That's right, Gregory. All they need to do is get a field goal, but with 4 minutes left on the clock, they need to try to run that off. If they could get it down to less than 30 seconds and kick a field goal, that'd be great, but who knows. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Right on that outside corner, but a little too low and a little too out. 1 ball and 2 strikes. There we go. Strike 3 on the slider. Steven Okert serving it up fresh. No burgers around here, just some fried veggies. How long has it been since the Astros went back-to-back? You mean on a victory? That'll be the first 2 games of the Braves series, right? They won game 1 and game 2. Is that what you mean? Are you talking about homers? Back-to-back homers? Oh, and 1 is the count to Garcia. Yeah, I mean, Jordan's not in, but who knows what he would have done if Cole weren't in the game. If Jordan had stayed in, you know, if he hadn't gotten hurt. 1 ball, 1 strike with that delivery. Got a couple of people yelling. Kind of annoying. Here comes a 1-1 toss. Garcia fouls it off. That one was below the zone on the slider. Good toss by Okert. 1-2. Eric is dividing his time between helping his son with math and watching this game. Sucker for punishment, or a glutton for punishment, right? Here's the 1-2. Fouled off on the right side. Count stays 1-2. Eric wants to know what we can get in a trade market for Cam Smith now that we have our right fielder. I don't know. I don't know if they decide to trade him. If they did decide to trade him, I think we could probably get another nice piece. 2 balls and 2 strikes now to Garcia. Come on, Okert. Got 1 out, nobody on. Here's the pitch. This is grounded up the middle. Altuve scoops it up. Nice catch. Nice lob. Out number 2. Good job. Altuve's not fooled by the bounce like Pena was. 2 down. Prodigy says swinging with 2 strikes doesn't cost you anything. Yep. If you got a pitch in the zone and you got 2 strikes, swinging is the best option. Darlene says Texans are going to get the ball back. Maybe they can do something. Yeah, they have it right now. They got a touchdown? Yes, how about that? The Texans score a touchdown, baby. They're up 19-14. They didn't get the extra point. They tried the 2-point conversion. They weren't able to get it. It makes sense why they go for the 2-point conversion, but oh well. They're up by 5. Here's a pitch. Fouled back. Michael Hellman is at the plate batting for Osuna. 0-1 is the count. 2 outs, nobody on. Stephen Okert on the mound. 14 pitches, 10 of those in the zone. Left that up on the screen way too long. I didn't realize it was still in the game. My bad. But Okert gets the K, and that's out number 3. Good inning for Okert. Okert's had a good outing so far. He's retired 4 batters and allowed no runs. Astros are up by 1, 4-3, going into the bottom of the 6th. Superman is due up. Jose Altuve, followed by Christian Skywalker and Jake the Rake Myers. Let's put some more runs on the board here in the bottom of the 6th. See what's going on in the Texans game. Anything of note? Hey, look at that offensive holding right off the bat. The Buccaneers are going to be moved backwards. 10-yard penalty. They're going to be on the 20-yard line, starting it off with 2 minutes left. 2 minutes and 10 seconds on the clock. Philip, are you drunk? Just curious. Maybe that's why your girlfriend is mad at you. Drinking too much. Oh, my hot water's ready. Let me go grab that right quick. Whoops. Man. Can't seem to stop bumping the microphone. Altuve is at the plate. Fouls off the first pitch on the left side of the field. 0-1 is the count. Here's the next pitch. Outside. Holy cow, that was a couple of inches off the plate and called a strike. 0-2. Yeah, don't let the Astros hang around indeed. Here's the pitch, the 0-2. Swing and a miss, 86-mile-per-hour slider on a 3-pitch strikeout. Altuve goes down. Prodigy, thank you so much. I'm going to call that the Insurance Run Super Chat. Thank you so much, Prodigy. Here's the pitch to Walker. Walker crushes it to the right side, but foul. Philip, you come into the chat and you say a bunch of things that don't really make any sense, and you say some negative things, and you seem to be a kind of a antagonist type person. That's in there for a strike, 0-2. So I'm kind of wondering why I allow you to stay in the chat. Give me one good reason not to block you. Because when you come in and you start saying things that are rude to me or anyone else, then you have no place on this channel at all. Swing and a miss. Walker strikes out. Back-to-back 3-pitch strikeouts for Leiter so far this inning. Mark, nice try. I'm not going to do the red bean cream hot dog breakfast unless you donate the money. I'm definitely not going to do it unless you donate, because I really don't want to. So you're going to have to put your money where your mouth is, so that I'll put the red bean where my mouth is. Because it is disgusting. I don't mind the sweet red bean, but a sweet red bean and cream hot dog sandwich for breakfast. Ugh. It's just not my thing. Myers is at the plate. With the 1-0 pitch, he fouls it off. It's 1-1. Well, I have before. Matt Garcia says, give him a timeout. I have. I've given him some before. Doesn't work, apparently. That's why I'm thinking about just blocking him permanently. Be done with it. I don't have time for annoying people. It's like a gnat or fly. I just assume swat it or squash it. On the outside edge, strike 2. 97 miles an hour. Completely outside the zone, but the umpire has been calling those. Yeah, Mark, I appreciate that. Somebody actually said he didn't eat the food. Seriously? Did it really matter that I didn't eat the food on the video? Who wants to watch me sit there and eat? That's a grounder to third. He bounces it over to first, and that's going to be it for the Astros this inning. Nothing doing. 3 up and 3 down. 2 strikeouts and a ground out. Easy inning for Leiter. Astros have a new pitcher coming in. We're finished with 6 innings of baseball. We're now in the top of the 7th. Philip says, you are a friend? I'm sorry, I don't have any friends that treat me like you've been treating me. Not today. I don't keep friends like that. I don't understand when people say stuff like that. I'm your friend. I'm supposed to bust your balls. No, I don't think so. That's not what friends do. Friends are enjoyable to be around, not annoying. And I can guarantee you that I have 0 friends who are annoying. Mark says, especially when you're feeling up the waitress. Now, the waitress there that day, she was really cute. She was really cute. But actually, the server in that restaurant, most of the time, is the robot cat. It's a robot waiter. But yeah, that's the one I was feeling up. So you're right about that. I was feeling up the robot, the cute robot waitress. That's true. They're showing that awesome double play again. Altuve to Pena to Walker. Beautiful play all the way around. That's how you do D right there, baby. You're annoying. Well, at least you're self-aware. But I'll put you in timeout for 5 minutes anyway. Very first pitch hit out to right field. Cole puts it away for out number 1. Looks like Jaden Murray is on the mound for the Stros. Jonah Heim comes to the plate with 1 out, nobody on. 0 for 2 today. Let's make it 0 for 3. Nice pitch. 96 miles an hour. Right on the inside. Strike 1. Patrick says you always got to have one annoying friend. I don't think so. I don't think so. I gave up on that. I got tired of it. You get to a certain point in your life where you just get tired. You can't take it anymore. When you're younger, you tolerate that stuff because of immaturity, your own immaturity. But when you get older, I like humor, but I'm a more balanced guy. You know, I like to have a serious conversation sometimes. And when I'm trying to tell somebody something serious and they're being annoying and ridiculous, I'm sorry, that person just has to go. That's hit hard into right field. That's going to be down for a single. Heim is on base with 1 out. Dylan Moore comes to the plate. Let's go for another one of those double plays. I actually had a conversation with a friend that I had for almost 15 years. And his whole thing was, we've been friends for 15 years. He kept saying that, but that doesn't matter to me. I don't care about how long we've been friends. What I care about is the condition of the relationship. But I kid you not, I don't know if it was a combination of his addiction to TikTok and the vast amount of vaccines he's had over the past few years, because he works as like a chaplain or something. And in order to keep his job, he had to get basically all of the vaccines and all of the boosters, and constantly he was getting vaccines and stuff. And I feel like the combination of those things really changed him, because he did change a lot. He got worse and worse and worse. First pitch is a curveball right in there. Rowdy Tellez is batting for Moore, actually. They pulled Moore out and put in Roddy Tellez, another beefy guy. He's kind of like a double cheeseburger. Jake Burger's more like a triple, I think, in size. Swing and a miss, strike two. Murray's ahead in the count. But my friend's attention span just got down to like nothing. You couldn't get one single sentence out of your mouth without him interrupting. Here's the 0-2. Ground ball right through the right side. Cole brings it in. Back-to-back base hits, both singles. Runners on first and second with one out. So bringing in the lefty to hit off of Murray was a good idea for the Strangers. He puts it right through the hole. But actually, he tried to talk with him. I said, hey, listen, I value our friendship and stuff. And that's it for Murray, by the way. He's coming out of the game. Brian King is going to be brought in the game. Magnum P.I. will be on the mound in just a moment. But you know what's crazy is that I literally had a conversation with him. I tried to have a serious conversation and say, hey, look, there's some times where we have like a serious conversation, right? For example, I have cancer. And my doctor doesn't think I'm going to be around very long. So sometimes on a day-to-day basis, and sometimes even on a minute-by-minute basis, I'm not sure what's going to happen to me. Sometimes I feel like, man, I'm like one foot away, 1 second away from either having to rush to the hospital, call the paramedics, or just keel over and die. You know, that's how I feel sometimes. It's not like I have everything in my life just cruising along, you know, as normal. And so I have some things that sometimes I need to discuss that's serious. And he can never be serious. Literally can never be serious. So I try to tell him, I need you to be serious. When I need to be serious, I need you to be serious. And he got upset with me, and he accused me of trying to change him. And I said, I'm not trying to change you. It's your choice. You don't have to change. But if you can't be serious with me when I'm serious, then we don't have a friendship, you know? So that's why I say that I can't have any ridiculous friends. They can be ridiculous sometimes, but not all the time. Well, it looks like the Buccaneers got a touchdown with 6 seconds left. It's 20-19, Buccaneers. Texans struggling again at the same time the Astros start struggling, right? Once again. At least the Astros are still in it. Still got a couple more innings to go. They bring in a pinch hitter. Here comes the pitch. 90 on the upper outer corner. Magnum PI is on the mound. Brian King. 0-1 is the count. Here comes the next toss. Cody Freeman is at the plate. He fouls it off, 0-2. There's one out, runners on first and second, inherited from Jaden Murray, who started the inning for the Astros. Sorry to hear about that text, Pat. Yeah, I saw the little debacle. I didn't see all the details, but I saw that the Texans blew the situation. 0-2 is the count to Freeman. Here's the pitch from King. This is hit up on the infield. Walker's under it. Easy out. Nice. He didn't even have to move to get that one. 91 miles an hour on the fastball. Up and in. He hit it off the fists. Good location. Good result. 2 outs. Way to go, Magnum PI. Getting killed by... Well, we're not getting killed just yet. I mean, they've given up 3 runs. That's not good, but we can hang on. 92 miles an hour in the bottom of the zone. Good pitch, strike 1. Wyatt Langford. Wyatt Langford's back up the plate. You don't have a much more country name than Wyatt Langford, I think. 92, fouled off on the right side, and that's an 0-2 count. King gets ahead again. Patrick, my life is quite adventurous without the nonsense. I prefer no nonsense. Humor, joking around, sure. Nonsense, no thanks. Hard pass. In the dirt, 1-2. Daryl says Houston Texans playing like the Oilers, not surprised. Yeah, so much potential and yet so much letdown. So much disappointment. Here's the pitch. Grounded to the left side. That might be a scored run. They're going to send him home. Sanchez throws it home and easily gets him at the plate. I am shocked that they sent him home. I am so shocked that they sent him home, but Sanchez makes a perfect throw from left field. I am really surprised that they sent him home. One hopper right to Diaz, nailed him at home plate. Look at that. That's the 3rd out. Magnum PI comes in and gets it done with the help of Buddy Sanchez, baby. How about that? Buddy Sanchez all day long. That's right. We get the thumbs up from Buddy Sanchez. Hey Mark, I'm still with you. That's why I haven't gotten into the Texans, is because I'm an Oilers fan at heart. I will always be number one and foremost an Oilers fan, a Houston Oilers fan. I was heavy into the Oilers. Big time. But I would never make fun of the players or the team. But when it comes to the coaching, the management of the team, the ownership of the team, total garbage. Absolutely, they were total garbage. They really screwed the fans over. They really didn't care about Houston. Didn't care about the fans. So I don't have any problems with anybody who has negativity against the organization. I think it's justified. Absolutely, the rat did not get out of the sewer. Prodigy, that's correct. Yep, great play. Another great defensive play. The Astros have come up with a couple of nice defensive plays today that have really helped them out, maybe even saved the game. That preserved the lead just now, and they could have come back and scored more runs. So we shut them down. Caratini's at the plate, the Batman. Here's the first pitch to the plate, rather. Jack Leiter's still on the mound. He's at 91 pitches now. 0-1 is the count to the Batman. He takes a timeout at the plate. Here's the pitch. Low and inside, ball one. Counts even. Prodigy, you're right. Looked like Altuve was tossing a grenade from the ground. That's right. Chopper to the right side and taken by Dylan Moore over to first base, and Caratini grounds out with the chopper. Yainer Diaz comes to the plate just a moment. We're in the bottom of the seventh with one out. Yainer Diaz up, Sanchez on deck. Angel says between the Astros and the Texans, sure making the blood medication work overtime. That's right. First pitch to Diaz is in the dirt, ball one. Yeah, right now, 2 games at home in Houston going on basically at the same time. Really testing the health, the patience, and the nerves of the fans, right? Here comes a 1-0 pitch. That's hit hard to left field. No, that's center field. That could be gone. It's all the way to the wall. Oh my gosh, caught right at the wall. Over 400 feet to center field. Just short, just shy of a homer. Wow, that was close. Man, if Yainer had pulled it either direction, it would have been gone. Right at the base of the wall, 409 feet basically. Sanchez comes to the plate. Is he going to get that hit? He had the great throw to get that out, right? Great defensive play. Come up the next inning, get a good hit. 2 outs. Altuve didn't do it earlier. He flew out, but Sanchez can do it. He's got the smile on his face. Here's the 1-0. High and outside, 2-0. JT Texpat says, had the absolute honor of sharing a seafood and beer fest with Earl Campbell, William Fuller, Bubba, and Toady Smith. And when I worked as a trainer at Olympia Fitness Center. Holy cow, that is awesome. Invited you after a workout. 3-0 is the count. He's not pitching to Sanchez right now. He doesn't want him to rip one out. If he delivers him one right down the middle, he should just let her rip. Here comes the pitch. He does. 96 out to left field, all the way out to the wall. It's off the wall. Exactly what I was hoping he would do. A 3-0 pitch. 96 miles an hour right down the middle of the plate. And Sanchez did not take it. He let her rip. Good call, bro. Off the scoreboard in left field. 96, right in the bottom of the zone. Right off the top of the scoreboard there. We have ourselves a runner in scoring position with Jeremy Pena at the plate. I love to see it. When you got the righty up there, the lefty at the plate with a 3-0 count, you know he's probably just going to throw it down the middle. Might as well go ahead and let her rip, and that's exactly what he did. Houston Oilers, Houston Oilers. I remember that old song. I don't remember all the words, but I still remember it. They got a little meeting on the mound right now. They're not going to pull Leiter out yet. He's at 99 pitches. Oh, yeah, they're going to go ahead and get him now. The Strangers. Oh, they're going to let him pitch to Pena. It looked like he was going to come out. Now he's going to let him pitch. 86 at the top of the zone, fouled off by Pena. That's 100 pitches now. Sanchez is on second base with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. The Astros looking for some insurance runs. Is Pena able to give them the runs? That's the question. Here comes the next pitch. Low and outside, 1-1. Good question, Prodigy. Why won't the freaking ball go out of the yard? Just a little just a little extra oomph, you know? Payne hits it into right center field. Is it going to be down? Yes, it is. Absolutely. And that brings in Sanchez. Pena with a double. Back-to-back doubles for the Astros. 5-3. Astros up by 2. Pena brings another lobster home for dinner. That was a slider that stayed up. Pena took it out to right center field. There's no chance. Yeah, you applaud. That's right. Good job, bro. Good job, Flash. Leiter's done, obviously. You know, what's interesting about that is, check this out. They left Leiter in to face Pena. And I just heard an interesting stat about that. Jack Leiter has never stayed in the game long enough to face a batter a 4th time. Can you believe that? Pena was his first batter to face 4 times. And he made him pay. How about that? How about that? And I'm going to have myself some hot tea. Because you know what? I want. Well, see. I want. Whoa. Whoa. That needs to steep for a couple of minutes. And I'm going to fill up my thermos. I'm going to cap it off. Top it off, baby. Top it off. Top it off. Let's make Bocce pay for his quirky managing practices. Yes, stalling the game, slowing the game down, making the game unenjoyable. Dealing with Bocce is like ordering sweet tea, and then you take a big sip of it, and it's unsweet. That's enough to make a man want to fight. You knows what I'm saying? You knows what I'm saying. Still on commercial break right now where they got the new pitcher warming up. I'll let you know who is in as soon as they come back. I might could get that. Oh, there it is. Jacob Webb is in the game. For the strangers, Jacob Charlotte's Webb. First pitch he tosses is a ball. He is facing Zach Cole. Next pitch, woo, 86 right in there on that changeup. Swing and a miss. Nice cut by Cole, but he doesn't get anything. We still have a runner in scoring position on second base with 2 outs. Here in the bottom of the 7th, the Astros up by 2. 5-3. Here's the 1-1 pitch to Cole. Line drive to right field. It is down. Pena is being waved around. Here's the throw. Not in time. Pena slides in head first, and Cole goes to second. He's safe. Look at that. Zach Cole with the heads-up play. He books it around. When the throw goes home, he books it to second base. The Astros are now playing musical chairs with second base. That's what I like to see. 6-3 Astros. Nice line drive rip to right field. Pena was off to the races. Garcia thought too much of his arm. He could not get that there in time. Nice head first slide. Even if the throw had been right on target, it wouldn't have mattered. There was no chance to get him. And Cole at second base. That ball's in the dirt. Ball one. Carlos Correa at the plate. Zach King Cole comes through again. Heck yes. Yeah, who is this kid indeed? 1 ball, no strikes. Here's the toss. Ooh, this is hit really hard into center field, but that's way too high. Correa crushed it, and it went way up there. But man, how about this inning? The Astros come back, take back all those runs that the stranger has scored on them. They're now up by 3, 6-3 going into the top of the 8th. Go freaking Stros. Steel Viper, thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for that awesome super chat. 7th inning doubles brought to you by Steel Viper. There you go, sir. I'm dedicating those runs in the 7th inning to you. 7th inning doubles brought to you by Steel Viper, Geaux Stros, and arigato gozaimasu. How about that? What a great inning. Man, if the Astros could play like this in the playoffs, if they could play like this from now until the playoffs and then all the way through the playoffs, right? Okay, the pitchers give up a little bit, but he gave us 4 solid innings. Gave up a few in the 5th, took him out. The relievers have held it together so far, right? And the batters have been getting 2 here, 2 there, right? If we could get this type of base level productivity on offense and defense, how awesome would that be? The Astros have made a couple of really stellar plays today on defense. Alexander had a wonderful performance through 4 innings. The relievers have been wonderful so far. 8 hits for the Strangers and only 6 hits for the Stros, but they have been very crucial, well-timed hits with runners in scoring position. The Astros only have 8 lobsters this game and 6 runs. That's excellent. That's excellent. That means the majority of opportunities they've had, they've capitalized on, and that's what we need. Brian King is back on the mound for the Astros for his 2nd inning. Well, his first full inning, hopefully. He is facing Kyle Higashio, top of the 8th. Gregory says, I love the Astros. I do too. And I also love it when the Astros win. When the Astros win, America wins. The world wins. Everyone wins. Brendan says, I watched the wrong game. I watched the Texans game. Dummy me. That pitch is high. Jake McBurger. Leftover Junior Whopper at the plate. 1-0 is the count with 1 out, nobody on. High. 2-0. I think my tea is ready. I'm going to take a sip. How about that? Oof. Nice. Earl Grey. Lipton Earl Grey tea. 91 up and in. Fouled off by Berger. 2-1. I swear the Houston Astros commentators are copying me. They said this is the Burger King matchup. Fouled off down the 3rd baseline. The count's 2-2. Brian King against Burger. That's why they're calling it the Burger King matchup. They played the drum hit, the snare hit. Womp womp. Come on. Here's the 2-2. 92 up and in, fouled off down the 1st baseline. The count remains same. Have you guys and gals liked the live stream? Thank you for visiting Geaux Stros today. If you have not liked the live stream, I appreciate you doing so right now. Thank you very much. 92 miles an hour fouled away. The count stays 2-2. Got about 140 people watching right now. It has gone up since the Texans game finished. And 76 likes. We need 100 likes. Fouled off again. 80 on the Swiffer outside. He's able to get a hold of it and send it into the crowd. Count stays 2-2. Give him the flame-broiled K. That's right. Give him the flame-broiled K. Here's the toss. That's up the middle. Altuve grabs it. Lobs it over to first. No problem. Ground out to Correa at third, followed by ground out to Altuve at second base. 2 up and 2 down for the Astros, and Magnum PI on the mound. Here comes the crowd with the boo, boo. Must be Adolis Garcia. I will say, though, the booing wasn't too heavy, so that's all right. 92 right in the bottom of the zone, strike one. At KK, strike out your way. Swing and a miss. 92 above the zone, and he couldn't get the bat on it. 0-2's the count. Did you get your burger's worth? One more strike. Garcia calls timeout. He's like, no, wait. I'm not ready. Brian Abreu is out there getting warm for the Astros. Here's the toss. Ground ball. Shortstop. Pena throws it over to first base. How about that? Ground out to Correa, ground out to Altuve, and then a ground out to Pena. Everybody gets in on the action. Good job. My favorite bridge reliever in this Astros bullpen, Magnum PI, Brian King himself, shuts down the Strangers 1-2-3 in the top of the 8th. The Astros come up in the bottom of the 8th. Another opportunity to tack on some insurance runs. My personal hero, Jose Altuve, is due up. He doesn't have a hit yet today. Now's the time. Christian Walker on deck and Jake Myers in the hole. Yeah, Alan, I don't know why they do. It's not like Garcia is a guy that has I mean I know that he has done some damage against the Astros, but what's the point in booing a guy like that who seems to really thrive on the booing? I think that if the Astros fans cheered whenever he came to the plate, like gave him a standing ovation, it would confuse him so much that he would be flustered at the plate, you know. Maybe it would make him laugh and shake his head, and it would take his mind off the at-bat, and then he wouldn't do so good. That's what I think, because when they boo him and stuff, you know he's soaking that up. He's soaking it up. Yeah, J. Paul, I'm not going to disagree with you. I don't think that Garcia is a particularly great guy, but at the same time, he's not the worst. But I think that the Astros fans could decide, you know what, booing him actually helps him. So let's try a different approach. Let's try giving him a standing ovation all the way through the at-bat. Just don't stop. You know, just keep cheering him. Before every single pitch, just start cheering him. You know that it would mess him up, right? If I were Joe Espada, I'd spread the word. Okay, everybody. Maybe they could hand those out at Daikin Park. They could give flyers to everybody wearing Astros shirts and Astros hats, just to make sure that the Rangers fans don't get the handout. You know what I'm saying? Carl Edwards Jr. is on the mound. He looks like a kid with a beard and a mustache. Wow, first pitch is 95, way over the head of the catcher. Carl Edwards. Jr. Here comes the next pitch, the 1-0. Curveball right in the top of the zone. Strike one to Altuve. The count's 1-1. Come on, Jose. Do me a favor and get a hit, buddy. He hits that one into right field, and that's going to be another fly out. Should be easily takeable by Garcia, and it is. Out number 1. Have we gotten to 100 likes yet? We should. We have 151 people viewing the live stream or listening in. I appreciate you being here. We're only at 82 likes. Come on, guys. That's barely 50%. Guys and gals, if you're an Astros fan and you don't like the live stream, what's wrong with you? If you're a Rangers fan and you're listening in, you should at least like it because I'm bringing the game to you, you know what I'm saying? Walker is at the plate and he hits that one straight up in foul territory, and it's not going to be playable. Right over the dugout. Strike one. Gregory says, great. Eric, no, he's not. I've liked Brian King since last year. I've really liked him. He came on a lot last year, and I really started to like him a lot. So that's incorrect. I never really had a big thing for Neris, and that's because of his attitude. He's kind of a dangerous personality type guy. 1 ball, 1 strike on that ball in the dirt. Here comes a 1-1 pitch. Grounded foul down the third base side. The count is 1-2 to Walker with 1 out, nobody on. Myers waiting on deck. Give him a base runner. Walker, you need to get a lobster in the net. Get it onto the boat. Get it into the trap so that Myers can take her home. Or you guys can put a couple of lobsters in the trap for the Batman. 95 above the zone, swing and a miss. I think that's another strikeout for Walker. 2 strikeouts today, and nary a hit for Christian Walker. Nary a walk, nary a hit, nary a nothing. Jake Myers at the plate with 2 outs, nobody on. Very first pitch is grounded to third. Myers is thrown out at first base on 1 pitch. 1-2-3 for Carl Edwards Jr. Why am I think of the hamburger place? No insurance runs for the Astros in the 8th. We go to the top of the 9th, up by 3, 6-3. 6 hits for the Stros, 8 for the Strangers, 2 errors for those Strangers, and 1 for the Astros. Pretty sure that Abreu will be in the game. Why wouldn't you bring in Abreu, Angel? It's not because of those couple of games that he played poorly. Surely not because of that. I mean, he is Brian Abreu. Still a good pitcher. He's a great pitcher, one of the best. Well, I see. Okay, Eric says, I was thinking the same thing. I like it old school, and a pitcher was showing no signs of struggling. You left him in. Yeah, I understand what you guys are saying, but you have to also understand who's on the mound, okay? Brian King is a bridge reliever, and he has a certain limit of pitches. Now, I don't know what that is. I don't know what it is. Right now, he's at 19 pitches, and 16 of those have been in the zone. He's done really well. That's really, really good, right? But what is his pitching limit? And there's no way to know that. If he's good for like 15 to 20 more pitches, no problem, then they might could leave him in, depending on who he's facing at the plate. But they're not going to do that. They're going with Abreu. And Abreu's up there right now. Brian Abreu on the mound. He's going to be facing Michael Hellman. Come on, Abreu, let's get her did. First pitch is on the way. I go straight up in the air and foul it out of play. Strike one. Michael Hellman came on as a pinch hitter a few innings ago, and he stayed in the game. Shrewdly says Altuve can't swing at the first pitch if it's over his head. That ball is hit up the middle, but Pena dives at it. It's not able to get it. Hellman has a single to start the inning off. That just means we have a double play opportunity, so we have a couple of chances here. Abreu can either get a strikeout on the next batter or he can get the double play. That was really close. Man, it looks like that one went over Pena's glove or under it. Was that not an error? That was close. That was so close it looked like he missed it. Here's the pitch. 98 miles an hour on that lower outside corner. Strike one. Josh Young at the plate. 0 for 1 today. He came in 0 for 7 versus Abreu in his career. That's outside on the slider. 1-1. Oh, okay, Eric, I see. Well, you know, back in the day, I was thinking about how Neris used to be, right? Not how he was when he came in last time. Look at that. Dubon gets the grounder right up the middle, steps on second base and fires it to first, and that's a double play. How about that? What did I tell you? Abreu was just setting up the double play. They're showing the play of the game right there. That's the 2-run shot by Zach King Cole. Six to 3 with 2 outs. Astros up in the 9th inning. Just need 1 out. First pitch. Jonah Heim at the plate, 97 on the inside, just barely misses the zone. 1-0 is the count. Well, it's not about him pitching good. Even if King is pitching good, doesn't matter. What matters is how many pitches is he capable of throwing in one outing. You know what I'm saying? So if his normal pitch count is no more than 20 to 25, and he's already pitched 19, they're not going to bring him back in. You know what I'm saying? Here's the pitch. 2-0 is way outside. Abreu loses that one. Maybe lost his grip on the ball. It's 3-0. Nobody on, 2 outs. Here's the toss. 95 inside, ball 4. That was close. Heim wasn't sure if that was going to be called a strike or a ball, but the umpire didn't say anything, so he ran to first base. We've got ourselves a runner on first with 2 outs. Ezekiel Duran is in the game, and he will be at the plate. First pitch from Abreu is on the way. That's into right field for a single. Now we got 2 runners on with 2 outs. Here we go again. It's the same thing that we've talked about so many times. I'm tired of talking about it. The Astros getting 2 outs, the pitcher's getting 2 outs, and then starting to struggle. Kind of ridiculous, isn't it? Just put it away. They call a little meeting on the mound. Miller's going to come out. Why didn't he come out early like that with Fromber? I wonder. What was your favorite era of the Astros, and what was your favorite uniform that they wore? I like the orange that they have right now, and I like the navy blue, the dark blue Space City uniforms. But overall, more recently, the era of their 2 championships is my favorite. Not because of the championships, but because Altuve was a part of all of that and what he means to me. I've got a video coming up in a couple of days. It's going to premiere the day after this series completes. So if you guys have a few minutes to watch that, I'd appreciate it. It tells a little story that's related to Altuve and my time in the hospital. 98 below the zone on the first pitch to Cody Freeman. Freeman is at the plate with 2 outs and 2 runners on first and second. Here in the top of the ninth, the Astros are up by 3. He steps out of the box and takes a timeout. 1-0 is the count. Yeah, Brendan, you're right. Don't pull a Texans game. Can't stand that again. I'm glad that I didn't watch that game and then the end of this one. I'd rather just focus on one high blood pressure game. This is a ground ball to Correa. He gets it and goes to second base. No, that's Dubon on second. He puts it away, and that's out number 3. So they get the ground ball that they're looking for, and the Astros take the first game of this series, increase their lead over the Rangers by 1 game rather. I'll get it out eventually. A little bit of a struggle at the end there after the first 2 outs, but Abreu came back and got the grounder to end it. 6-3, the Astros win. 10 hits for the Strangers, actually. 6 hits for the Stros, but the Stros are strangely productive today. Only had 8 lobsters. 8 lobsters, that means 8 lost opportunities, but they brought home 6 runs. The Rangers had 11 lobsters, only brought home 3, so they are the losing fishermen today. Fred says, woohoo! J. Paul, let's go. Brendan, thank God. Absolutely. Eric says, enjoy the rest of your night. Abreu just wanted to break their hearts. Well, it's like what I used to say about Hader. You know, Hader would often make it interesting in the 9th inning. You know what I'm saying? He would come out, and all he would need to do is just, we've got like a 3-run lead. All he has to do is get the outs, you know? And he gives up a walk, gives up a hit, gives up a run, makes it interesting, and then manages to pull it out. That stuff just, it's too much. And Stressley, yeah. That's right. Mark says, I like the old rainbow striped uniforms that match the color seats of the Astrodome. Yeah, I liked those too. Actually, I like them more now than I did back then even. Not that I didn't like them back then. It's just that now they feel so, nostalgic and retro to me. But yeah, the Astros multicolored uniforms were really cool. I'm going to do a quick recap of this game. A quick scoring summary. If you guys and gals want to take a look at that right quick. There's already got a news article about Jordan spraining his ankle. I'll try to give you guys and gals an update about that later on whenever I hear about it. But let's take a quick look at this and then we'll review tomorrow's game before we get started on today's scores around the league. Real quick, here's a scoring recap. In the first inning, the Astros got on the board when Correa reached on an infield single to the pitcher. Pena scored, and then Alvarez scored on a throwing error by the pitcher because he threw it over the head of the first baseman. So it was 2-0 Astros in the first. That's when Jordan sprained his ankle right off the bat. He was coming in and he slipped when his foot went on home plate and he turned his ankle. So hopefully he will be better ASAP. In the top of the 5th, Young homered to left field, scoring Osuna. In the 5th inning, this is when Jason Alexander would start to kind of break down and they had to pull him out. Smith singled to right, scoring more. So 3 runs were scored off of Alexander in the 5th inning, and the Strangers took the lead 3-2. But after that, the Astros relievers would shut down their offense. In the bottom of the 5th, the Astros answered with a Cole homer. 390 feet to right field, scoring Pena. 4-3, the Astros retook the lead. Bottom of the 7th, Pena doubled to center, scoring Sanchez. And then Cole singled to right, scoring Pena. and then he was able to advance to second with that throw home. The Astros were playing doubles. Sanchez doubled, Pena doubled, and then Cole basically doubled in the 7th inning. It was awesome. The Astros extended their lead by a couple of runs, and that's where the score would end up, 6-3. You can see it right here, 6-3. As far as pitching, let's go all the way down. Now, quickly, though, we'll take a look at the hitting. Pena, 2 for 4. Alvarez only had the 1 at bat, but he was able to walk. Cole, 2 for 3 with a hit. 3 RBIs, a 2-run homer, and another RBI on a single. Correa, 1 for 4 today. Altuve, 0 for 4. He was hitting the ball, getting it into the air, but he flew out like 3 times and struck out once, I believe. Dubon came in to pinch hit, but I don't think he actually had an opportunity to at bat or bat, did he? Yeah, he didn't even bat. He was in the field, but he replaced Altuve at the end of the game. Walker went over 3, had a couple of strikeouts. Myers went over 4. Caratini went over 3. Diaz went over 3. So if you look at it, only a few guys on the Astros team pulled us through today. So Diaz, Caratini, Myers, Walker, and Altuve, and even, of course, Alvarez was replaced by Cole, so he doesn't count. We had 5 batters in the lineup who did almost nothing. 3 of our runs were scored by Cole. Without that, we would have been in extra innings. So Cole comes through once again. So Pena, Cole, and Sanchez, essentially. That was our and Correa, yeah, that was our run productivity today. That's right. Pena, Cole, Correa, and Sanchez. Those were our guys today, but they got it done. And as for pitching, Alexander went 4.2 innings, 5 hits, 1 run, 1 earned run, a walk, and 5 strikeouts. Acceptable, but once again, he only had 1 earned run. There were some errors and mistakes by the Astros that cost them some extra runs. So he didn't do poorly. He could have finished 5, I think, if not for a couple of little mistakes. But it is what it is. Okert came in 1.1 innings, 3 strikeouts, no problems. Murray came in. He struggled a little bit and only pitched 0.1 innings, gave up 2 hits. Brian King came in and shut it down, pitched 1.2 innings. Very good performance. 1 hit, no runs, no walks, no strikeouts. Abreu started off really well, got a couple of outs, and then gave up a couple of hits. But he wound up getting the job done and shutting it down. So the Astros were able to pull it out, no problem. So how many innings did they pitch here? 1, 1.2, 2.2, 3.3, 4.3. So yeah, the Astros relievers basically pitch half the game and don't give up any runs. How about that? That's nice to see. What about tomorrow's game? I'm glad you asked. Let's take a quick look. Tomorrow's game is at the same time as today's game. Merrill Kelly is on the mound for the Strangers. Right now, this has been changed to undecided. They did have a pitcher announced for tomorrow, but they have since changed it to undecided or undetermined. So unless they have announced it elsewhere, it is still up in the air. We don't know, but we'll see. Kelly is 12-7, 3.21 ERA. He's pitched a lot of innings, 176.2. Doesn't give up a tremendous amount of hits, just 141. Has a decent amount of strikeouts at 162. The walks, so-so. 23 homers. Yeah, hopefully we have a good day of hitting. It'd be nice if the Astros bats woke up as a team tomorrow and we can take Kelly out quickly. I'd like to see Kelly go no more than 4 innings. I'd like for us to knock him out. Yes, that's right, J. Paul. TBD is undefeated. Undecided is the best pitcher in the MLB. Undecided is undefeated. That's right, Salty Dog. You came in. You came in just in time. Just in time. Brendan feels like drinking some alcohol tonight. Just take it easy. Yeah, well, Northside, you're right. The Seattle series is going to be and is very important, but this series is just as important. Both are equally important. So we have to deal with the now. Forget about Seattle for the moment. Deal with what's in front of us. Yeah, Salty Dog was Bit Dog, then Old Dog, and is now Salty Dog. Only the old timers know that. Yep, half a game behind the Submariners. Final lobster count, Marduk, is 11 for the Strangers and 8 for the Stros. There we go. That's a really good, nice and low lobster count. Now, if the Astros have a lot of lobsters, it's fine as long as they have a lot of runs to go with it. But low lobster count and 6 runs on the board, that's really good. That means they didn't get a tremendous amount of opportunities, but they capitalized on the ones that they have. So that's very good. It really helped them out a lot when they started playing musical chairs at second base, double, double, double. That kind of stuff helps out a lot. Let's see here. What else did we want to take a look at? There's one more thing, right? Oh, yeah, scoreboard. That's right. Scoreboard. Let's move this over so we can actually see it. Anything of note, the Blue Jays were able to beat the Rays in overtime 2-1. Overtime. They had 2 extra innings of play. Let's see here. Wow. The Twins beat up on the Yankees. Look at that. 7-0. That's crazy. Woods Richardson struck out 11 Stankies. Nice. That is nice. No game for the Submariners today, so there's no chance for them to get back that half a game that the Astros gained on them today. The good thing is, with a win tomorrow for the Astros and a loss tomorrow for the Submariners, we'll be up 1.5 games. I like the sound of that. I like the sound of that a lot. I like a lot. But I think that's pretty much it, right? We already know about the result of the Texans game, so I won't go into any of that. But thank you so much, guys and gals, for being here today. I've got to go get some more thumbnails together. I'm going to try today, if I can, I'm going to try to get the thumbnails made for all of the rest of the games from now until the end of the season. All of the regular season games. So the Submariners games coming up next. The rest of the Rangers, the Strangers games, of course. And then the remaining games that the Astros have on the road. I'll try to get those all together today and get them posted. That's my goal. I have 2 goals today. That's one of them. The other goal is to finish my next chapter of my novel. But right now it is almost 12 o'clock. Time to have lunch, I believe. Brendan, you're right. October 21st, regular season game with the Rockets. I was thinking about getting the I can get the NFL package and the NBA package here in Japan, and nothing is blacked out, so I can get all of the games. Home and on the road, playoff games, doesn't matter, I can get all of them. It's no problem. But I decided not to get the Texans package yet, and the reason is because it interferes with the Astros schedule. I can't do both. And so I will wait until the Astros are finished before I start with the Texans, unless there's a way that I can do both games in the same day without them interfering with each other. I don't know what the schedule is next week, but if the Texans and the Astros don't play at the same time, then maybe I'll go ahead and start my subscription and do the Texans game. But I also have to set up my scoreboard and live stream layout for that. So just be on the lookout for that for those of you who are interested in the Texans games. Did we manage to get over 100 likes today? Let's see. We're at 97. We're 3 likes short of 100. I can't believe we got up to more than 150, 160 people listening in and didn't get to 100 likes. People were really lazy with the likes today. The thumbs up on the videos. Yeah, Brendan, my plan is to do the Rockets. I can't remember if it was you or one of the subscribers said, why don't you just try it? You know, just call one of the games and try it and see how it goes. And I think that's a very fair way to look at it. If for some reason it's just something that doesn't work out or is not really doable for me, then it makes sense for me not to do it. But I should at least try. And I got to thinking about it, and this is the most important thing, okay? When the baseball season ends, whether it's in a few weeks, in a couple of weeks, or if it's in a month and a half, whenever the baseball season ends for the Astros, from that time until the end of spring training in 2026, there are no games for me to call. So it only makes sense for me to do the live streams for the NBA. Now, of course, the Texans have games once a week, and so it's actually not a heavy load for me. One of my kind subscribers said, you know, you should take care of your health first, you know, consider your health first. And I get that, but I have to consider two things. I have to consider my health and my finances. And of course, I want the channel to continue growing. And if the channel doesn't continue to grow, then I can't sustain it financially, because my other primary income right now is partial disability. In my condition, they will not hire me to go back and work. So even if I want to go teach again here in Japan, it's a requirement that I go and get a health check. And of course, Japan has health laws, privacy health laws. So if they say, you know, go get a health check, the main thing that they want to check for is TB, right? They don't want people with TB to be out and about and around other people. So that's the main thing they're checking for when they do the chest x-ray. But because of the privacy, the medical privacy that they have here, it's similar to the U.S. I don't have to reveal to any potential employers about my health situation, but they're going to figure it out real fast. If I go and get a teaching job, which by the way I don't want, I would very much prefer to be here with you guys and gals doing the games. I'd rather be at home doing these games, and if I don't feel good, I can go lie down. I can sleep when I need to. And that's the problem with going to one of these schools. If I go to one of these schools, the majority of the students that I have or would have are kids. And some of them are elementary, some of them are middle school, occasionally high school, but most of the time it's middle school and elementary. And you're talking about being at the school 50 hours a week. No such thing as just working part-time. I would have to be there early in the morning all the way until at least 5 in the evening. And the total amount of time that I would have to dedicate to that would be so exhausting. And the schools don't have elevators or anything like that, so you're constantly having to go up and down the stairs. And right now, I'm not in physical condition to do that. And sometimes I feel nauseated or sick or worn out, etc., just whatever. And so going back to work in this condition is not only not feasible, it's not advisable. So that's why I'm saying that the companies would figure out very fast, even if I didn't tell them about my condition, they'd find out real fast. And then I would be right back where I'm at right now. So it's better for me to figure out how to keep doing this, and to wrap all that up in with a neat little bow. Doing the NBA games and the NFL games is a way for me to bridge the gap between the end of the baseball season and the start of the next baseball season. Does that make sense? Robski, I've already done that poll twice. I've already done the poll twice. And everybody has, if you look at the overall results, the minority wants me to just do Astros content even during the off season. But like I said, if I do, and I said this in one of the previous live streams, I didn't say it today, but I will say it again now just for your benefit. If I do only Astros content between now and the beginning of next season, that means that I have to do a lot of video creation, long form videos, a lot of editing, a lot of shorts. I have to post at least 2 shorts a day, preferably 5 shorts a day, plus a long form video multiple times a week. But even if I did all of that, it's not going to be nearly as successful and as engaging as doing the live streams. So it would be actually more work. And that's a thing that I was going to mention. For those of you who've never done videos for YouTube and have never done live streams, if you're looking at it from a health point of view, which one is easier to do? Live streaming the play-by-plays like this, like we're doing here with the Astros? Is it easier to do that for the NBA and for the NFL during the offseason? Or is it easier for me to not do the Texans and not do the Rockets, but instead just focus on making videos and short videos about the Houston Astros during the offseason? Which one is better for my health and which one is better for my finances? And actually, that's a very, very easy question, because I seriously thought about this the other day, and I realized I don't really have a choice. It's kind of a no-brainer. But when you think about it from a health point of view, the NBA games are like 3 to 5 games a week, right? They don't have nearly as many games as the MLB. Sometimes it'll be like 3 weeks in a row with a game every single day. So doing the Astros games is actually it's actually much harder, much more difficult physically than to do any other sport. And there are a couple of reasons for that. One is they play almost every single day. The other thing is they have a lot of games in the afternoon throughout the season. And those games are in the middle of the night for me. Those games start anywhere from 12:30 in the morning or like right after midnight all the way up until 5 a.m. You know, the games are on a weird schedule. Some of the games start at like 12 o'clock, you know, when they're playing on the West Coast. 11 o'clock in the morning. Lunchtime is when they start for me. Those games are not a problem, but when they play in the afternoon the next day and I have to get up at 2 or 3 a.m., that's crazy, right? And that happens a lot. The NFL games, it is true that the Texans, most of the Texans games on Sunday start for me at around midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning or something like that. Maybe if they play at 3, that's like 1 o'clock in the morning for me. Yes, it's true that they have games. They have several games that start in the middle of the night, but it's just once a week. It's once a week. And the NBA games, when are the afternoon NBA games? Do they ever play in the afternoon? Rarely or never, I think. Brendan says, maybe I'm the good luck charm the Texans need. Well, we'll see. We'll see, because I do promise you I'm going to give it a whirl. as soon as I'm able. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, guys and gals, I've gotten used to doing the live streaming. I'm not saying that, oh, I'm good at it, but most everything that I need to do my live streaming is set up and ready to go. You know, the camera's there, the computer's here, all the software is here. I've got my scoreboards, I've got my internet connection, I've got my microphone, I've got everything that I need, and I'm trying to make myself as comfortable as possible, you know, because, you know, it's because of my health, right? This is something that I can do. And honestly, I want to do. I don't want it. It's kind of, it's an interesting situation because I've had people try to push me to go back to teaching. I don't tell anybody here about my live play-by-play that I'm doing. Not really. A couple of people know, but they're good people. That's the reason they know. But I don't tell a lot of people about what I'm doing here. A couple of close friends, like my friend Glenn from Australia, he's in the chat sometimes. Even though he's not a baseball guy, he stops in and he supports. He knows, and a couple of other people know, but I don't go spamming. I think Glenn knows this too. I've got another channel, another YouTube channel that has about 3,000 subscribers, and 3,000, that sounds great, but it's very inactive. I don't have a lot of interaction there. I don't get a lot of views on my videos. I don't make really any money. I think it takes like 6 months for me to get enough money through my channel to get paid for it. It's not real active. I don't tell anybody there about my baseball channel. I don't think it's useful. So, but anyway, I was just saying that even if I did all of the NBA games and the NFL games, it's still a lighter schedule for me than the MLB games for the Astros. So from a health perspective, it's an improvement. It's more relaxing and actually fewer games in the middle of the night. The other thing is, financially, it's the best option because to continue to do the live streams is the best thing for me. It's the main thing that I do, and it's the main thing that people are here for. So, and it's much less work. I don't have to do a tremendous amount of editing. I just have to make sure everything is set up and enjoyable for everybody. You know, I make sure that I have the right scoreboards, get all that working. If I have problems with it, I need to get that worked out. I interact with everybody as best I can in the live chat, and I try to make the whole experience a good value for everybody. That's all I have to do with the live streams. I mean, those things are, I wouldn't say that they're easy, but I can do them so much better than trying to come up with video ideas for the Astros and then spending hours upon hours upon hours doing editing only to upload it and get 150 views. You know what I'm saying? That I can't afford to do that. I know that I would have to stop doing my channel if I tried to do that during the off season. That's the truth of it. So I'm definitely going to be doing the NBA and NFL games, just letting you know. And I think I'm going to have to alter the name of my channel just a little bit. So I've been thinking about how I can change it without changing it too much so that the emphasis is on the pro Houston sports and not just the Astros. But like I've told you before, my priority is still the Astros, and it will continue to be. But as I do the other teams, I want everyone to know that my priority overall is to be Houston pro sports guy. So maybe I'll become the #1 Houston sports live play-by-play guy. Maybe. We'll see. Maybe actually my vision is once the channel grows a lot more, it'd be nice to have some other people come in, and that way if I have another person to do live play-by-play with my channel, then whenever there's another game going on simultaneously, I won't have to choose one over the other, you know what I'm saying? Because even though the early games in the beginning of the season are not as important, if the NBA playoffs are going on and the Rockets are playing in the playoffs, I definitely cannot miss those games just for an early season Astros game. But at the same time, I don't want to miss those Astros games. So to have somebody else doing the live play-by-play with me would be perfect, because whenever there is a game on, just one game, I can handle it no problem, or my partner can handle it, not a problem. And sometimes we can do the same game together. But when there are two games happening at the same time, then it would be nice to have somebody else to do that game while I'm doing the other game at the same time. You know what I'm saying? That way we don't miss everything. We can cover everything on the same channel. Let me get to the chat right quick, and then I'm going to get out of here because I'm really starting to feel the hunger pangs. Jerry says the Jays won 2-1. Another comeback win. Amazing. Let's see here. J. Paul wants to know if I've seen Northwest Sports Fanatics. Yes, I have. And today, if I'm not mistaken, he was doing the Texans Buccaneers game. But I have to say I'm not impressed at all. I don't see how he has so many subscribers, because his sound is terrible, and he's playing obnoxious music in the background, and he talks loud the whole time. It's just not my style. I'm not into that. I know that I'm not as straight-laced as listening to Houston Astros radio network, right? If you listen to those guys, they're going to be very straight-laced, much more, not necessarily serious, but I don't even really want to say professional. I mean, you could say that. Maybe more professional in their suppression of opinions, perhaps. So I'm definitely more opinionative than they are. But the guy, Northwest Sports, he's just too far one direction. I feel like, the Houston Astros radio network is one direction, right, towards professional sports live play-by-play. The focus is on that. More serious, I guess. And then I'm kind of in the middle. And then you have the guys on the far right side who play obnoxious music. Their microphones sound terrible. They yell, and I don't get it. I saw one guy doing the Texans live stream. That guy had a ton of people watching. A lot of people watching his live stream. He was just doing... His channel is all about the Texans. Just the Texans. But I was shocked to see how many people he had following him, because he's just like yelling the whole time. The whole time he's calling the game. I can't listen to somebody who's yelling the whole time. Every single play, It's first and 10, and Stroud is back. He's going to bring it over to the right side. He brings it over the right side. He's going to have to toss that one out of bounds. It's out of bounds. It's going to be 2nd and 10. Somebody who's talking like that the whole game from beginning to end, I can't take that. It's just not my style. Brendan says most of the games start 6 o'clock Houston time. Yeah, it's a little early for me, but it's manageable. 7 o'clock, it's no problem. The sun starts coming up here about that time, so I wouldn't mind being on a schedule like that. Eric says McCullers starting tomorrow. McCullers is injured, my friend. He's not starting tomorrow. I wouldn't be surprised if it's AJ. I'm going to go with J. Paul and guess AJ. France needs a little more rest. He can't pitch tomorrow, I think. He did pitch a little bit already for the Astros in their game yesterday. So I don't think he'll be pitching tomorrow. My guess is AJ. Could be wrong. Just my guess. But anyway, that's it. Did we wind up getting to 100 likes? We were only at like 3 away. I hope so. 100 likes. Yes, we got over 100. Arigato gozaimasu. Otsukare sama desu. Thank you for your hard work, everyone, today. I do appreciate your support. All of the likes, the subscriptions, the super chats, the support has been great today. The Astros, this is what you call kind of a basic, this is just a classic baseball game, what we saw today, I think. A little bit of everything. Some great defense, some good pitching, but also some struggling from the mound, and some moderate hitting, but it got the job done, didn't it? 6-3, the Astros win. And we're one step closer to that silver boot. We need 2 more wins to get it. Hopefully we can do that with Game 12 in this series against the Strangers tomorrow. I'll see you for that game at the same time, same bat channel. I'm going to sign off and go grab something to eat and work on my thumbnails. Thank you again. Only thing left to say is Geaux Stros, and I will see you tomorrow. Good night to you too, Eric. Bye-bye, everyone.